Hey! Gusto mo yung music na ganyan?
I love the music.
Yeah.
Nagulat ako sa music.
Parang kailangan may intro ba yan? Ganyan.
I know!
BBS Universe.
Yes.
Hi guys.
Hey, what's up, everyone? All right. Well, happy Friday. It's a beautiful weekend going to be for us. Hanggang Monday ito. So, happy Miss Universe, everyone. Don't what? Yes. And for tonight, we're going to be talking about. Let's go directly to what we're going to be talking about now. We're going to be sharing our predictions and initial reactions to the Miss Universe. Ayan, di ba akala mo mga eksperto talaga tayo, no? Gusto mo yung predictions and and initial reactions. Kaya ba so far, ano bang nakita nyo or nabasa nyo so far about Miss Universe?
Marami. I think we're gonna be going through that, especially the heavy hitters when it comes to bashing and the like. So that's one of the biggest statements siguro I've seen coming through. Parang sabi nga nila, ironically, Catriona raised her flag. What happened? 2021.
Yep.
More on that later.
More on that.
Yes.
Later.
Definitely.
And we are
What's the lighter side of Miss Universe have you guys seen there? Kasi medyo heavy nga yun eh.
Yung pagkabagsak pagkatalon ni Rebia Mateo dun sa pool talaga na parang wala lang. Yung nalaglag talaga siya doon. Di ba?
Tapos
Saya lang.
Instagram moment ulit afterwards.
Di ba? That was fun. Parang hindi siya masyadong na-stress or na-tense. Yan. So, before anything else, we'd like to say hi to everyone. Mikey is here. We have Maki, Maya, Adge, of course, and Lance. And we'll say hi to some of our friends in the chat. We have Sir Will. Hi, Sir Will. Sino pang nandyan, guys?
Hi, Alan. Hi, VR. And who else is there?
Well,
Christian.
from Facebook, we have Christian from Facebook. Hi.
Hi, Christian.
Hey,
Hello, everyone.
Christian.
He says he misses us.
Aw,
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yes. Been a while.
It's been a long time last week.
Actually,
Alright.
it's been a while since we got a comment from Facebook. Pero
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah. Uy, pero aminin nyo, sa Facebook talaga tayo nagsimula. Doon nagsimula ang dark blue kiss na moment natin.
I know.
Nawag na natin ulit.
Huwag na natin ulitin.
Yes.
Question nyo
Yes.
dati.
Yun talagang the glow up is real for everybody.
I know.
Very true. Hindi evident, but very true.
Yes. Oy, but before anything else, taas muna ng kamay. Sino ba ang totoong pageant fans talaga sa atin dito? Taas ng kamay. Sino yung mga pageant fans?
I'm enthusiastic about it. I really like
Okay.
Bandwagoner.
I only
Kaya
watch
nag-organize
the
ito.
costumes and the answers. That's it.
Yes.
Mga panahon ni Sushmita Zen. Joke lang.
Yes, grabe, 1994.
Torres, ganyan.
Oo. Wait, pero ako, I must admit, I'm not really a big fan. Like, tama si Maya, I'm just an enthusiastic person pagdating sa Miss Universe. Kasi amazing yung mga fans. They know everyone, even down to the smallest details. Na parang, even yung brand ng takon nila, alam. Mga Chinese laundry, kinemerut. Ano ko, ayun. Char. Alright, but dahil dyan, we need reinforcement tonight. Di ba may transition tayo na gano'n?
We need a bigger fan.
Okay, ayan, Lance, you do the honors. Sino ba yung guest natin tonight? Hindi lang siya guest. She's actually part of the family already. Di ba?
I know. Our guest now is a woman who used to dream, but she slays like a queen.
Yes.
So give it up for Miss Thais Estrada.
Hey!
The introduction. Hi, guys.
Parang sa natin ko.
Yes.
Ano na yung crowns?
Yan, Philippines! Ganon! Wala. Lance, pasukan mo ng yung mga, ano ba itong sinasabi ng MC dun sa national costume? Ano yun?
Ayun nga yung
Ang
intro.
spill. Mga on the wing na spill.
Yung
Ang kulit
pagkasabi,
lang ng mga-
ano, yung sinabi
Yung
niya,
parang
parang,
Ano?
Oo.
Ano yun? It's
Ano ba
not a
yung sinabi
drag
niya?
to be a bird and a flag.
Yes! Yes!
not a drag, to be a bird and a flag. Philippines!
Grabe.
Yung iba may sense, yung iba mema. Parang,
Oo.
Oo nga eh.
Oo, sino ba yung scriptwriter
Ay, like-
niya?
Like yung kwan, yung nangyari kay sino ba yung nawalan ng outfit doon? Si Myanmar.
Myanmar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nawala daw sa
Rando-
airport.
Oo, parang the
And
woman
it was
is
a cute
costumed in
outfit
death by
too.
mail, but she never fails. Myanmar. Parang
Oo.
gano'n.
Ano yun?
Favorite yung sa Indonesia yung nag-Komodo dragon.
Yes.
Yung sinabi sa
I
kanya,
love
this
that.
reptile sure brings a smile.
Oo. Hindi talaga.
Hindi
Okay.
hindi kaya ano yun?
Okay.
Adlib yun? Hindi kaya adlib yun?
Hindi, puro
Malay
siya
nyo.
sinusulat. Tapos 3 years ng ganon.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh my God.
Universe
Yep.
costume show ay
Who writes these
corny
things?
rhymes. So, like, it's so funny. As in, like,
Oh my
I love it.
God.
Super nakakatawa siya kasi yung delivery din ni effective, 'di ba? Parang yung modulation ng boses niya sa
Mas
Ang deadpan
like, earlier
kasi.
pa. I think 2016 pa. Na
Yeah.
ganun yung format. Kasi that guy was here in the Philippines.
Oh.
Nung nandito siya sa yung na prelims, nandito siya. When we watched it sa Moa Arena, nandito yung
Yep.
ganyan. Tapos gumapo siya ng gumapo in all fairness. Dati
Wait,
mukha lang
in
siya-
fairness, actually.
Mukha lang siyang Twinkie dati. Tapos ngayon medyo daddy na
Ayun,
siya.
Yeah.
Ngayon, mukha na
Nice.
siyang
Daddy
na
Roo.
siya.
Char.
Oh.
pamilyado. Ganun.
Pamilyado.
Nasa kanto nagiinom. Gano'n.
yung mga shirtless, tapos nakinansyan.
Oo.
Correct.
Tapos may gin bilog. Gano'n.
O tawagin na yan. Isama na yan sa live
Ay,
dito.
sama na
Char
natin
lang.
sa live. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Yes, we're so happy!
Nice to be here.
I'm not like an expert, pero like I love Miss Universe so much.
Yep.
It occupies a certain part of my heart and my
Oy.
day lagi pag sa isang taon. Like
True.
it's
Yes.
really a special part of my year. Miss Universe.
Yes!
Pero, ayun, like it's an honor always to be. I think I'm happier na parang like the older I get, the closer I am to like the people I would love to be, talking to and
Ay.
discussing about Miss Universe. Kasi I don't know, like I kind of look up to how the queens just handle themselves. Yun yung medyo may
True.
yung myth and grandeur ng pagiging beauty
Right,
queen. no? And
Exactly.
there's just grace. They have to carry it for the rest of their lives. So,
Right.
like, and the good thing is, innate sa kanila. So,
Yeah.
I've seen them in action many, many times. So, yun.
Yeah.
It's really true. It's one of those things na parang, sana beauty queen na lang talaga ako. Pero,
Ay. Yeah.
wala eh. Balahura ako eh. Sorry.
And siguro I think it's one of the things that because it's been done every year and there are a lot of enthusiasts and people I think in general love beauty pageants. Diba?
Yep.
We do. We
Especially now
absolutely do.
sa pandemic na there's a lot of diba, there's a lot of bad stuff that's going around. I think we need this somehow because it sort of like uplifts people, parang
True.
encourages people. And with all of these beautiful women having their advocacies, especially for mental health, I think it can be very inspiring. So it's a good time to have Miss Universe.
Correct. At saka para na siya nagiging entire universe in itself. Parang NFL na merong commentary, merong
Exactly.
analysis,
May comedy, may
merong
drama.
post reviews, may reactions, diba? May trend reviews. Sabi ko, oh,
Oh
my
my
God, it's
goodness.
becoming so big. It's hard
And
to
every country does it. Like,
Yes.
it has fans all over the world, and each fan holds their own show, holds their own review show. They have videos, they have Facebook pages dedicated to their and they exchange ideas. It really fosters some sort of an international dialogue. Ang
Nice.
weird na yun yung nagta-tie up ng world citizenship. Alam mo yun, yung talagang
Yeah.
tayo
Right.
as
Yeah.
we realize that we're in not just one country but we live in a world in like one earth, one planet. Parang ganun.
Yep.
Universe, rather.
Just universe rather. It just makes you feel that you're part of a huge community that
Yeah.
na talagang pang buong universe basically.
Exactly.
And for one day, for at least half a day, we're all connected in beauty.
Right. That's right.
That's true.
Ay, pero ako, I'd like to bring up siguro. Yes.
What's with the music? Yes? May sinasabi?
Gusto ko yan.
May
Ano na ba?
pinaglalaban tayo?
Talent portion na ba? Hindi naman ako na-advise. Talent portion na.
Kaya nga may microphone tayo eh. Yes, Nico, you were saying.
Siguro I'd like to bring up like it's not like a big issue. Like that's, you can talk about feminism siguro before we talk about the fun stuff of Miss Universe. Kasi maganda yung point
Sure.
ni Thais eh. Kasi parang, yeah, there's a bigger benefit and advantage of celebrating these beauty pageants more than anything. Kasi parang meron ako na I heard this particular Filipino thinkers, parang they had this conversation about feminism and then pageantry. Parang we have to take some sort of ambivalence to it though. We cannot be so categorical about it that it's bad for women daw. Kasi at the end of the day, these women,
Okay.
participating, they have a choice. At the end of the day, di ba? I mean natin, there are some beauty pageants out there na hindi Miss Universe, ayoko na sabihin, na nagkakaroon ng anomalya here and there, di ba? Pero if you try to look at the bigger benefit of it, 'di ba? Parang para sa akin kasi, yun nga, ang treatment kasi natin dito para talaga siyang competition na parang alam mo yun, we're not here to like objectify women 'di ba? Parang it's their choice anyway. So yun lang, parang I just wanna bring it out there. Parang what do you think? Like in line with feminism and then pageantry.
You
Yes.
gotta start. Sige, go ahead, guys.
Here, let's educate, not hate.
Yes.
Yes.
True.
So, yung about the feminism and beauty and pageantry, do you know there are waves of feminism, right? And ang height ng pag-attack ng beauty pageants as merely objectification of women happened during the second wave of feminism, where the focus was on the personal and the political. So what is the personal's role in the political sphere? So obviously around that time, that was around the 60s, very strong ang uugnay sa anything politically motivated with the personal. Imagine gano'n nakatagal yung pagtatay ng personal sa political.
Right.
So, but in that sense, they wanted na kasi it was a rejection of the ideas of men objectifying women. So at that time, it made sense to not or criticize beauty pageants as just merely that. Kasi totoo namang ganun lang talaga sila noon. They just
Yep.
really
Yeah,
started as a promotion for a bikini company. Miss Universe started
That's
as a promotion for a bikini company in California. And, they just, literally, women were just used to, kasi eto na, it was an act of feminism pa kung bakit nag-start ang Miss Universe. It was a Miss America contestant rejected being asked to put on a swimsuit. So with her rejection, yung Miss America pageant, the California Mills, Cotton Mills Factory, whatever, sila yung sponsor ng bikini na yun.
Okay.
Sabi nila, okay, we will retaliate. If your winner won't use our bikini, then we'll start a rival pageant, and we'll not just call it Miss America, Miss World, Miss whatever. We're gonna call it Miss Universe because she's the most beautiful woman in the entire universe. And they invited beauty queens from all over the world to compete. So imagine it was really just a PR stunt, a PR move.
Okay.
So rightfully, around that time, that era, tinitira talaga ang pageantry as just that, a shallow, objectification of women. Kasi totoo naman. Eto lang, ang proponents ng second wave of feminism kasi are very rigid and they don't believe na ideas can change once challenged, diba? So, nagkaroon ng third wave of feminism na ang importance na ay ang intersectionality ng feminism sa lahat, race, women's rights, sexuality, gender, diba? So, yun na yung nag-liberate sa pageantry from like the rigid standards of like objectification lang siya to a more meaningful activity for women. So ito kasi yan. So bakit nagkaroon ng ganun? So nagbago siya kasi ang nag-refocus ang pageantry into a scholarship program. Women, if they compete in the pageant, they get scholarships to enter college. And that's a big thing kasi ang mahal ng college states. So, binag-develop yung na parang it became a scholarship program. And that's the reason why my Q&A portion. Because they have to see if this candidate is somebody who has the brains to go to college. So that was the first time nung nagkaroon ng scholarship program ang mga beauty pageants sa States, doon nagkaroon ng Q&A portion. Noon talaga, magrarampa lang sila nakabikini yun na yun. Tapos nagrarampa na naka-gown, tapos naka-makeup yun na yun. Diba? Walang Q&A. Ganda lang talaga. But it evolved. So, once you say na parang, like, I forgot, but there was an edition of the Miss Universe pageant. I think it was held in Cyprus, year 2000, where Lara Duta was competing. 2001 or 2000. That the final question was, there are protesters outside the Miss Universe venue right now. What can you say to them if they say that this pageant is useless? Parang ganon, parang walang kwenta for women. And then Lara Duta gave such a fantastic answer. Na parang kung useless to para sa inyo, basta amin hindi.
Yeah.
Kasi it's such a huge platform to say things na pwede nating gawin, especially sa mga countries na wala namang platform. And an opportunity na pag ang nanalo dito ay somebody na talagang bukal sa puso yung pagtulong sa kapwa. And maging ambassador siya ng ganong klaseng pagtulong ng charity. So, doon talaga sumabog na, naloka yung mga tao.
Totoo!
Parang, ito nyo pala parang, alam mo yon parang, ganun yung naging, ang ganda ng pagkakasagot niya pa, kasi sobrang, grabe yung grace. But then, yun na nga, I also still acknowledge that pageants, really, sayang yung maraming toxic parts niya. That women are still subjected to opinions that they shouldn't be. Unfairly subjected to opinions like about body, though may leaps and bounds na yung body positivity in terms of pageantry sa buong mundo. But tama kasi Nico, it's important to acknowledge first the criticisms around it. As ultimately a conduct of kasi tawag dito, aesthetics lang talaga di ba? Until, even up to now, even if you can say na parang like, ang nananalo na lang talaga is yung magaling mag-Q&A, no. Meron pa rin tinatawag na X factor, meron pa rin tinatawag na beauty pageant factor. And mahirap i-shed yun. Mahirap i-shed yun na ang katapat nun ay, or ang equivalent nun ay ganda aesthetics, di ba? Which is still judged by somebody, di ba? You're still a woman judged by your looks, ultimately. But there have been important strides to change that. And I hope na continuous na ganun. Kasi nung shift na nangyari from the Trump era to the ING era, nung nawala yung Trump organization, na hindi na talagang yung ganong klaseng standard of beauty ang nanaig. It was more of like, I'm not saying brainy, but there was more value put in a woman's ability to express herself. Attractive sa era natin itong ngayon na production era. Attractive sa atin na makasagot ng maayos and with wit and candor ang isang candidate more
That's
than kung ano yung physical attribute niya. Parang it helps if you have that X factor. Nandun pa rin yun. It
Yeah.
still matters to win. But what matters absolutely at the most is your ability to express yourself well.
Right.
So,
Right.
yun.
Ganda. Kaya nga ikaw pinasok namin dito eh.
Nagkaroon ng history lesson bigla.
Uy, hindi talaga.
I love
We're very
it.
helpful.
I
Alam mo naman
appreciate
sa super. Alam mo naman sa BBS, very ano tayo eh. Progressive tayo eh. Parang
Oo.
Hindi
That's
pwedeng
why I
ganda
love you
lang sa
guys.
BBS.
yeah, hindi
we
naman
love information. We love
Super.
learning things. That's why we
Super.
also
Meron
do
na
these
kasi
things.
tayo lahat nun. So,
Yeah.
ito.
Yeah.
Ito pa.
No need to
Hanggang hindi ako
mention.
nagpapagupit, debatable.
Yes.
Sure lang. Okay.
But it's nice though. Like, how about you guys? So, maganda yung, definitely yung, di naman lecture, but it was really an enlightenment for us, so coming from Thais, definitely. Kasi we
Yeah,
need
I
to
actually
really
saw that
understand
din
it eh. Yeah, Lance, go.
Yeah, I actually saw that movement din eh. I may be a kid who watched Miss Universe growing up. Kaya lang, during that time, yung era na yun, parang, why are they just putting women, walking, objectifying them and like that? Then suddenly I saw the shift. Then you're hearing more of their stories, hearing more of their visions, hearing more of their dreams and drives. Yun yung nagiging heightened,
Yeah.
yun yung na-height ngayon, yun yung napupunta on the pedestal now. And I like that direction. Parang
Yeah.
these are not just women based on how they look, what they wear. These are women with stories, with brains, with a beautiful background. And when that shift happened, parang, ooh, I'm getting to love what I'm seeing now. I'm getting more drawn into it na.
Yeah.
Pero I'm not a big fan as them. Pero sabi ko kay Nico, I only watched it because of the national costumes and the Q&A. Especially with national costumes, it's big for me kasi somehow I saw a voice in it na these
True.
are representations of a country of you don't know yet. Parang these are
Right.
introductions to a country.
Right.
These are some of the cultures they carry. And I'm happy with this set now, na 2021,
Yeah.
kasi they're not just feathers anymore. You see cultures, you see indigenous people, you see statements, you see
Right.
voices being brought into the table through national costumes.
Right.
And you see Komodo dragons also. Char.
Oo, may history pa tayo. Komodo dragons are one of the oldest beings in
But that was
Tsaka
the-
Northern
yeah.
Lights, no?
Northern Lights as well.
Can you pick
Yes.
up like the trivia? That's what I love about the National
Super!
Costume Show. They talk about the
Yes.
trivia, why they're wearing it. Like,
Same.
okay, simple yung sa Japan, but that's really important. For the first time,
Exactly.
karate is included in the Olympic sports program. Imagine how
Right.
long it took. So they're celebrating that. Curacao is celebrating their hero, a national hero, a flight
Yeah.
attendant who died.
Grabe, no?
During a flight that went down, diba?
Yeah.
And their airport is now named after her. So, yeah, ang ganda-ganda na natutunan mo. As a little girl noon, when you watch the National Costume Show, that's how I trained myself with world cultures. I mean, doon nagsimula
Yes.
na parang, okay, I realized that parang pag Latin Americans, very close sila to religious figures. Alam mo yung mga ganun pala silang connections. And then, important pala sa kanila yung mga ganitong symbolism. So, I mean, it was my intro to geography. Like, no joke, Miss Universe, really opened up my eyes with how beautiful the entire world is in terms of geography. So, I don't know, there's so much to learn when you watch it. I don't know if people are like so dismissive with it.
Uy, Thais, alam mo ba? It was easy for me to memorize the flags sa geography because of Miss Universe. I swear. I swear. Magaling ako sa geography. Alam ko yung mga bandila ng mga bansa dahil sa Miss Universe.
Matulong din yung capitals too. Kasi some of them live in the capitals. So parang, si Miss ganito galing ko dun.
Right.
And speaking of geography, masusubaybay mo pa yung time na Czechoslovakia pa siya nung una. Tapos naghiwalay na.
Right! Exactly!
Naghiwalay na siya.
Yes, and then
Wait, there was the Miss USSR.
USSR also, yes.
Yeah.
And then nung naghiwalay na sila, there was, there's Miss Macedonia, there's now Miss Kosovo, when new countries there's South Sudan already. You know, it's also very political. You understand the political climate din ng mga bansa. There is always just Korea. There's never a South Korea.
Correct.
Because Miss
Right.
Korea is supposed to, at least in the beauty pageant sense, anyone who's Miss Korea is representing North and South.
Yeah.
Ganun
Mm.
siya, may ganun political nuance ang pagsuot ng sash.
Wow!
Na, it was never South Korea, it's always
Grabe,
Korea lang.
no? I noticed. I noticed.
Grabe. So imagine those
Amazing.
kinds of things. And
Yeah.
then there's also issues about like if countries send their first black candidate,
Mm.
first foreign yung mga immigrant candidates, ang laki ding bagay yun,
Right.
it makes the
Mixed
news.
race.
So
Yes,
mga
Yes,
mixed
Japan.
race, di ba?
Japan
Yeah,
is mixed race,
even
half
plus
black, half Japanese.
Japan.
yeah, exactly.
Japan was such a huge nung time ni Catriot, hindi pala. Basta the first black candidate, half black candidate
Yung time
na
ni
si
Pia.
Few,
time
few
ni
words
Pia.
back.
I think
Yeah.
it's Pia.
Yung time ni Pia.
2015,
Kabatch ni
yeah.
Pia.
Mm-mm.
So ayun, ang laking impact nun kasi culturally, half blacks in Japan are are victims of racism all the time.
Yep.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
ayun.
Grabe, no? Yee! May gito kasi balahibo ko. Shit.
Can we also talk about? I think it was 20. Angela. Is it Angela Ponce? The first
Angela Ponce.
player
Angela
Yeah,
Ponce.
2018.
Ah, yes,
Yep.
of course. Oh my God.
Right.
How could I forget? So around
So who
I
can,
think
diba?
3 to 4 years before Angela Ponce became the first transgender candidate of Miss Universe, she is, nagkaroon ng movement to add transgender candidates, or to allow
Yeah.
transgender candidates in the Miss Universe pageant. The first
Mhm.
one who challenged that was from Miss Universe Canada. That she challenged their national contest, their national competition, kung pwede ba siyang makasali. And then ang pinakamagandang nangyari doon is the response of the Miss Universe organization is depende na yan sa national organization.
Mm.
Kung gusto nyo, yun ang pinanalo nyo, yun yung tatanggapin namin.
Yeah.
So, wow! Parang like, kaloka yung mga, parang like, Miss Universe could just outright say, okay,
Diba?
memo to all national organizations, wala kayo ipapasaling transgender. But they did not. They said, it's your decision, we don't mind.
Yeah.
So, and then Canada realized na, sige, okay lang pala, sige, pasalihin ka namin. Hindi siya nanalo sa national contest. Pero she was the first transgender contestant ever ng isang Miss Universe national organization. And then 2-3 years after, there were few more na candidates. And then, yun na nga, nag-succeed si Angela Ponce as a representative for Spain.
Yep.
During that year. And it was such a huge thing.
Super.
People would ask, bakit pa kailangan ng mga transgender na sumali ng Miss Universe? Parang, they have their own. We have our own pageants celebrating transgender women. Pero, it's a platform eh. And it erases the kind of gatekeeping sa womanhood
Right.
is exclusively cisgender.
Exactly.
Diba?
Yes.
Right.
And it is a competition anyway. Diba? Parang like,
Correct.
we could
You'll be
compete.
judged fairly.
We'll judge fairly,
Yeah.
diba? Nandun naman sa diba? Who would, and then like, ikaw naman, pumasok ka naman dun sa isang aesthetics ang labanan, diba? At utak, diba? So like, diba, galingan mo na lang kung makasali ka, diba? Yun talaga yung iniisip ko. Pero wala dapat doors na sinaslam sa mga mukha ng gustong sumali. Ayun. So, parang yun yung naisip ko lang doon. And yun yung mga malalaking impact. Basically, what's happening is, it created such a huge platform for anyone. Look at Myanmar this year. Diba?
Yes.
Look at Singapore with her Stop Asian Hate costume. And then Uruguay with her Pride costume. So, alam mo yun, parang it's to utilize a platform that's so big already. It's really just up to you. And that's why it's important. Yung importance niya has, like, it's treading, tawag dito, ground na, since this platform exists, might as well use it. Mga ganon klaseng thing. Instead of eliminating it, we can challenge the platform to retool itself, improve, and become something that's a lot kinder, a lot more purposeful than ever before. Kaya nga beauty with a purpose.
Right. And
Yes,
we have to
yes.
understand that things really change and evolve. I mean, iba, sabi mo nga tayo, iba na years back in 50s, iba yung
Yeah.
treatment ng pageantry eh. But now it's a whole different story. It's a competition. It's, parang NFL na natin yan eh. Maraming layers na kasing pageantry ngayon eh, di ba? So, something that we need to
That is
celebrate.
true.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Mikey
when
was
you
about
say
to...
NFL, do you
Ah.
mean National Feminism League? Char.
Ah, yes! Yes!
Yes.
Tama yan.
Gusto ko yun. Mikey ha,
Sorry,
yun yung walang ambag ha. Sabi mo wala ka ambag ha.
Mema lang. Actually, I think Chai came in a little bit late, so she wasn't
Yeah.
able to hear what we said earlier. But she posted a question on Facebook. She says that she has a friend who claims the pageants are just a modern way of objectifying women, which is far from what we see because we don't see women flaunting their bodies, but rather their purposes and stories, which is what we said earlier. Pero he only told me that those stories and purpose kuno is just pangtago or I don't know, smoke and mirrors. So she wants to know how she can engage because she can't avoid it now.
Yep. Wait, I just want to
So-
say hi. Si Chai pala is, used to be my
Chai.
workmate. So, mini-mentor ko
Chai.
siya yan before. So, ako yung trainer-trainera niya before. So, naging trainer din siya, I guess. And then, she got actually promoted. Tama ba, Chai? Hi sa'yo. Ayan, sige, go. Sagutin natin ang tanong niya. Go.
Hello, Chai. Very interesting story. I mean,
Yeah.
question, to be honest. I think your guy friend is conflating a lot of like why the women are there. Are they there to entertain men? When in fact the audience of Miss Universe is mostly women and homosexual men.
Mhm.
Hardly straight men hardly watch it. And then
Yes.
Actually,
it's not like the
Yes.
Victoria's Secret fashion show. It's
Yes.
yun talaga
True.
abject objectionism talaga.
ay,
Right.
totoo.
Diba? Objectification. I mean, okay, past that, which is medyo na-cancel naman na talaga ang Victoria's Secret fashion show. But Miss Universe is a multifaceted approach to like features of womanhood. So
Yep.
kung ang nakikita lang niya is mga katawang rumarampa na nakabikini and can't look past the pageant interviews, the Q&A, the charitable efforts that the Miss Universe organization is doing, pageant activities that are beyond the show itself, then hindi siya ang intended audience, hindi niya naiintindihan ang pinapanood niya. Sa totoo lang, kung ang point niya is, that is an objectifying, exercise. Misogynistic ang ganyang mga keme-keme.
Mhm.
He just actually proved his point by being one.
Yeah.
Diba? I mean, you can't protest something if your number one proof is yourself. Ikaw yung you just defeated your argument kasi ikaw yung nag-prove nung mismong argumento mo. So, Chai, my challenge to you, I guess, is if you ever get to engage with this person again, tell him na maybe you can start looking beyond what you just see and what you judge the Miss Universe or the beauty pageants to be. As a man, look at what you're looking, and if it's misogynistic and if it's objectification, then maybe you start telling yourself na bakit ganito lang yung nakikita ko. Diba?
Yeah.
Hold a mirror up to your own opinion, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Siguro, my 2 cents on that as well would be, there are many different ways of looking at things, and your way of looking at things is not necessarily the way that it is, because
True,
you put
true.
on a lens which is based on your personal background, experiences, and perspective. Now, if the rest of the world says that, no, it's not an objectification, then maybe you need to evaluate what you believe versus what other people believe and then see what's true. Now, if you cannot do that, then maybe mali ka lang talaga. So, tama na. Anyways, I'm just saying na parang yun nga eh, parang just reevaluate the things that you believe in, because what you believe in, it may not necessarily be true. But if you even if, for example, the world says that it's wrong, but you still hold that it's true, then okay, as long as you're happy, laban lang. Pero sorry na lang.
True.
Hi,
Ay, isa pa akong
Jan.
idadagdag, I guess, hindi, kung sa, we listen to the women themselves, I guess.
Yes.
Yes.
Kasi, ultimately, what we're doing is observing them, di ba?
Yep. Mhm.
While the difference between observation and objectification is something that we already know personally, kasi, like, ano ba, iniisip ko bang, surbahin ko yung mga babae doon sa stage.
Yeah.
Ang iniisip ko ay, oh my God, can I be like her? Ganun yung iniisip ko, di ba? So, listen to them, and they've had many opportunities to speak. Meron sila, ang dami nilang sinasabi about how it has impacted their lives.
Yep.
So, who are we to say na what they're doing? Yun yung sabi ni Lara Duta, di ba? Kung para sa inyo, useless to at walang kabuluhan, but kinonsider nyo ba yung posisyon namin nandito? Di ba?
Yeah.
So, parang pakinggan nyo din muna kami. Ayun. So, kung yung lalaki nyo na itingin ay objectification ng itong lahat, examine niya talaga yung opinion niya.
Exactly.
Yung kung anong lens niya pinapanood ang Miss Universe pageant. Kasi sobrang ganito lang, oh.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Malawak naman talaga.
Kasi my question would be, what was the last Miss Universe pageant he has watched? Baka, like, he will remember the old ones pa, not the ones now. So if a suggestion for you, Chai, is reintroduce him to the pageants now.
Tatawa. Kasi kung yung old yung napanood niya, sa level na baka 90s, parang,
Mga Trump.
Oo.
ano ba yun? Vintage talaga, Day. Talaga.
Sir, 2021 na. Ano na?
2021 na. Ang ganda-ganda ng edition ng Catriona Gray edition. Sana yun yung napanood niya. There was rarely body like shots in there.
Yes.
It was just talking.
Yep. Wait, I just want to add something to Thais. Kasi naman nasabi ni Thais kanina, si Bessie Besana, may group talaga sila kasi, familiar ka ba sa Ashton Knights community? Anim sila, and they're like pageant experts and all. So talagang pinapanood ko sila every Sunday, and they're really experts, and Bessie Besana really is an expert, no? And I just learned from them na ang judging pala sa beauty, sa swimsuit, no, is from neck up pala. Hindi, I mean, the body can still be judged, pero entirely, the judges will look at from neck up, as in, paano ka nag-project yun sa mukha mo with your body shown to the audience. Sabi ko, oh my gosh, si mga ganong bagay-bagay na hindi alam ng tao.
You know how they knew this? Kasi, di ba, the judges have their own monitors.
Okay.
They're only really shown the face.
Oh, diba?
Projection. Projection ang pinapakita lang sa mga judges.
Exactly.
Pag kasi it lumalabas sa face, confidence, yung comfort, yun kasi hinahanap eh. Para ang when you say body positivity pag pageant, like the Miss Universe pageant, tapos nakarampa ka na naka-bikini, kahit ano pa yan, yung bikini, kahit like sobra, like one piece yan o hindi, basta yung mukha mo nagre-register ng comfort and like just confidence, having fun. Alam mo yung talaga yung body positive. Ibig sabihin, walang pakialam ang Miss Universe organization kung yung body type mo ay hindi the prevailing preferred body type, diba? It's about how much fun you're having and how confident you are and how it shows. Kahit paano rumi-register sa camera. Pero yun,
it's true.
That's true. Yung sinabi mo din about the cameras only training on the faces of the candidate, and that's what the only thing they're seeing sa monitors nila. Ayun. They can free to look at the stage. I mean, to look at the body, but on the monitor, they're only shown the face.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. I didn't know that at all.
Grabe,
Diba?
no?
Me
Ako lang.
too, yeah.
Kasi hindi ko lang nalaman yan. Yeah.
Even yung judging system na it's really just 1 and 0.
Diba?
Binary lang pala siya. If you like it, it's
Grabe.
1. If you didn't like it, it's 0.
Oh my God.
Interesting.
Diba?
Oh,
So, parang,
Wow.
diba? Parang hindi man lang
That's
siya.
one of the questions. That's one of
Basta,
the questions
ano
I have
naman
for you guys. Actually,
Mm.
is there a change in how they are in the mechanics of this particular pageant? Because it's the first time that we're having a pageant during the pandemic.
They eliminated the continental grouping.
Yeah.
Yung for the last
Okay.
3 years kasi Asia and Africa are in one spot,
Correct.
America's in one spot, Europe, and then basta yun. Basta di hinati-hati nila yung mundo into ano, then there's a certain number lang. But they've eliminated that now. There's 20 candidates who are gonna enter the semifinals and 1 audience vote. So yun.
Yep. And then they eliminated also or omitted yung opening statement part ties, diba? Kasi daw sa
Yes.
pandemic, kasi nagsha-share doon ng microphone and all. So that could have been an opportunity sana, no, to like showcase themselves. Pero we understand given the situation.
Totoo. Yun yung isa sa mga pinakamalaking change. Wala na yung mga opening statements.
Yeah.
I guess because they have to make the show as quick as it can be.
Yep.
Like
That's right.
they are gonna have 21 semifinalists and cut it to 10 immediately.
Grabe.
So imagine half agad to go to the to go to gowns.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like it's a huge like bye girl.
Yeah.
Intense, diba? Sobrang intense.
Hindi daw
Grabe.
expert si Thais. Yan, dami ko na napulot.
Exactly.
Wala pa talaga ako. I swear, wala pa akong kakalingkingan ng iba, guys. Meron talagang insane na like mga experts. But I consider myself hindi na lang armchair fan. Medyo like a little bit more than that.
Pero ano background lang, kasi ano to parang before we transition to the next topic or next thing that we're gonna be talking about, kasi nag-post tayo sa Twitter and sa Facebook talaga. Sabi ko, national costume. Sabi ko, uy, sama ka sa amin kung free ka. Ay, umuo siya. Sabi ko, fun. I love it.
Yes.
Ang post talaga was pertaining to the national costume. Ayan, yun yung pag-uusapan natin ngayon. Ayan. So what we can do now is, if may yung nakapanood siguro or na nakita niyo yung mga photos ng ilang national costume, sino yung parang nag-stand out para sa inyo? If you can have like 5 at most, or pwede less. Sino
Okay,
nag-stand
ako
out para
yung
sa inyo?
last mag-ano, kayo muna.
Sige. Sige, I'll go first.
Parang gusto magsalita.
Go ahead.
Ipahuli natin si Thais. Gusto ko marinig last si Thais. Ako siguro, I'll put Nepal. Nepal is like, whoa, parang it's different but it's telling a different story. Kasi di ba usually nakasari sila, usually ganun ang national costume na every year, but now it's different. Sabi ko, oh my gosh, girl. And her backstory is also nice. Na parang IT siya and she believes that, parang kulang daw yung parang exposure ng babae to the different parang professions and everything. Sabi ko, I like this girl. Plus, yung ganun pa yung national costume niya. So parang ako, you're telling something here. You're telling a story. Gusto ko rin si Indonesia. Nung una, natatawa ko, sabi ko, bakit Komodo Dragon, mama? I don't understand. Pero no, nung trivia, nung the MC was talking about the story, sabi ko, ay, may kwento to. Sabi ko, gusto ko talaga siya. And the rest will be very mga activist na mga costumes like Uruguay, 'di ba? She's an openly lesbian candidate, 'di ba? So gusto ko 'yon. Na parang tumaas yung balahibo ko doon. Plus si Singapore din. For some reason parang girl, ang simple lang ng suot mo diyan, pero oh my gosh, it's telling a lot. It's I don't know, parang ang bigat lang sa akin nun. But I have another favorite. I think it's Guatemala na parang purple siya na parang very well put yung costume niya na parang hindi siya yung tipong exagerado na parang malalaking ganyan. Na parang dress lang siya na puti. Oo, yung gumaganon-ganon. I'm not so sure if it was Guatemala. Parang cute lang. It was like cohesive. Pero yun lang. Yun yung parang top 5 favorites ko. How about you?
Siguro I'll go next.
Siguro, okay, go.
For me, kasi I still want to see beautiful women portrayed as goddesses. So,
Yeah.
for me, yung mga ethereal, parang mga ganong klaseng costumes at saka
Right.
very feminine pa rin, really appeal to me. So, Thailand's costume, ganda-ganda. Parang it was
Yeah.
very flowy and all that. And then also yung kay Ukraine, the
Mhm.
one with the parang, alam mo,
The
very
paper cut.
geometric.
Yeah.
Parang, whoa.
Yeah.
Alam mo yun, parang,
Yes.
I love that. Parang,
Yeah.
and it really appealed to my sense of symmetry. I love symmetry and like, Nico, alam mo yan. I get
Yes,
obsessed with my
yes.
PowerPoint alignments
A
and
lot.
everything. So parang it was very, okay, nice. And also, yung kay Peru, yung may hawak siya na ganon. Tapos
Yeah.
alam mo yun, yung parang rise from the
Ibon.
phoenix ashes. Yes, mga ganong bagay. And, somehow, the Komodo dragon was a bit weird, pero it was still very svelte, very sultry, and very,
Oo eh.
alam mo yun, it's just a weird thing. But anyways, I think it was pretty awesomely done. So,
Yep.
I think those four. Yun. Yes.
Can I go next? I
Go,
have the same
go.
criteria kasi with Mike. So, it's also Thailand, Peru,
Mm.
Indonesia, and I also want to include Singapore and Uruguay nga because of the statement that
Yeah.
they parang expressed during the national costume part. So, yeah, and sobrang, parang for me, parang dark horse si Singapore. Parang ang confident,
Yeah.
No?
confident niya maglakad. Tapos, her short hair, sobrang lakas ng dating. So,
Yeah.
And the
sobrang
slick
natuwa ako
back
sa kanya.
hairdo, oh my god.
Yeah.
Right.
That's so fierce, as in.
Fierce.
So, yeah. Those are my faves.
Sige, ako naman, I'll go next. So, when it comes to five, siguro three of them I'll choose because of visuals. So, visuals-wise, number one, I really love Finland. Hindi ko alam. Gusto ko yung effects ng Northern Lights. And
Very
it's
true.
and it's also tastefully done. Kasi with some national costumes, they end up to be too overboard or too tacky.
Yeah.
But this one, even if, it has lights, diba, isipin mo, ano to, parol, pero it's still super tastefully done. And of course, it makes sense kasi nga Northern Lights.
True. True.
Right, right.
I also like Cayman Islands. I'm not sure if you remember
Yes,
Cayman
Yeah,
yung
yeah.
malaking, yung malaking ganun.
Yeah, yung
Sunset
malaking
and then-
feather.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
exactly. Yeah, the colors, parang the ombre going on in the feathers.
True.
The ombre action from yellow to
Yes.
orange to red. And then the blue feathers. Ang ganda ng contrast. Love it visually. Visually, I also love Aruba, the one with the splash of water at the back.
Oh, yes!
Yes.
Diba?
Galing!
Diba? Siya pa yung medyo una sa pictures. Nakita ko to, oh my gosh,
That's
it's
right.
so nice.
Amazing.
Parang this is like Drag Race done in a fashion stage. Diba? And of course, because of the message, like everybody else, Singapore and Uruguay.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yes.
Uy, sorry. Isama ko na rin si Miss Finland, Northern Lights. Medyo weird lang yung parang lightsabers niya. Pero
Lightsaber.
love the guy.
Love it.
Actually.
Diba? Parang it makes you stand out.
Super.
Usually. It makes you light up, literally.
It's like
Right.
it's like a light of it's like a waterfall of light.
It is.
Yung niya.
Yeah.
Frame.
Tsaka nag-boy dance pa siya, diba? Towards the end. Na parang kinot ni Sozy Bini. Tapos biglang sabi ng co-host niya, parang, let her go on. Parang ganyan. So, nagpa-poi dance pa siya. Sabi ko, ay, si girl marunong mag-poi dance. Char.
Coolness. Who's next?
I could go next.
Sige, go Lance.
We'll save you guys for the last. Because I think I share the same sentiments with all of you. Pero if I'm gonna gear away from that, because I was looking at two different perspectives. Like if I'm gonna go with message, Nepal talaga is one of the strongest na nakita ko. Especially that she changed yung body shape of the woman in
Right.
the pageantry na you don't have to be that curvy. You can be this and be a proud woman standing on top of the Mount Everest. Kumbaga. But like the way you climb, you will always find Nepal. Parang ganun.
Yes! Yes! Gusto ko yan.
My God. And then I also like, in the same trend doon, I like Bolivia for some reason kasi she reminded me of the indigenous roots of the Andes
Yeah.
na meron sa
Yeah.
Bolivia. And it's the shape na iba rin siya. It's a weird looking shape. It looks like one triangle. But that's how their culture is. Sumasayaw nga siya. Siya yung parang trompong umiikot-ikot-ikot na sa
Ah,
stage.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
remember her.
Kulit-kulit. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Bolivia.
Yep, yep.
And I like Mexico too because of the colors. It reminded me of One Big Giant Piñata. And that's the way they did it kasi it reminds me of their culture talaga. That they're
Yep.
jovial, they're fun, and their crowns are made of paper. Yun ba? Ano yan?
Ano yan?
Haiti.
Haiti, yeah.
The coat of
Haiti.
arms.
She's like a
Haiti.
cute,
Diba?
not Haiti. Si Kainis. It's like a cute nutcracker gone haywire.
Correct.
Go, go, go.
Diba?
And I also have Laos. I like yung, it's another silhouette of a woman na straight na ganun because ganun yung
Yep.
Laos na outfits nila eh. So may
Mm.
papayong pa siya and all. And the last is Cameroon. Kasi kudos to that young
Pinoy.
designer. That Pinoy young
Pinoy.
designer came
Ah, yeah,
with that.
Cameroon.
And it also expresses another shape, another silhouette of a woman. And besides, parang
Galing.
Cameroon was fighting for what a woman stood for in her island, in her
Right.
country. Then they can be educated, they can be a part, and
Nice.
they can become not just housewives, but they can study.
Yes.
Maganda yung messaging niya dun, no?
Maganda.
Strong.
True,
Yeah.
true,
Very
true.
strong. Kumbaga,
Speaking of
fierce
silhouette,
lioness siya.
do you guys remember Silhouette 40?
Laban yan.
Post lang, Mikey.
Next!
At saka si Cameroon naka-dreads, di ba? Hindi siya ano yung
Ay, hindi ko napansin.
dreadlocks si mama. Hindi siya parang typical na waves, wala.
Oo.
Abs. Sure. Yan. Okay, Mac.
Okay, Maki.
Okay. Ako naman.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
Teacher na teacher. Hindi kasi it's parang there's been a conversation even in the past years of what you should present by the national costume. So first and foremost, the one side of the story would always be present the culture or just the inherent culture of your country. Represent the culture of where you came from. So for example, if you're from the Philippines, you might show the ethnic tribe or ethnic groups of the Philippines and whatnot, ganyan. And there's also the other side of it, just because we cannot really deny that pop culture is still part of our culture, and it's yun yung
Right.
inherently kung ano yung mas relatable at kung ano yung mas madaling mo-consume ng mga tao. So
Mhm.
pop culture is part of culture. So gusto niya may disclaimer, which brings me na parang national costumes are not only representative of the textbook culture that we know or what the citizens of these countries know of their own country, no? Pero
That's right.
parang it kasi we cannot really deny the fact that it is a pageant. It is a showcase of exuberance, of elegance, exuberance of artistry and creativity and whatnot. So the stories behind these costumes are still part of a good representation and presentation of their national costumes. Which brings me, hindi ko talaga kayang inarrow down to 5. I am so sorry. I really
Go
tried.
ahead.
Hindi ko
Yeah.
kayang inarrow down to
So
5.
how many do you have?
Laban.
So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9. I'm so
Nakalista.
sorry.
Laban. Laban naman.
Nilista ko talaga to.
Go, go, go.
Go.
So the first one would my heart really goes to, although my heart goes to the creativity and the craftsmanship of the work of Thailand. Kasi yun talaga yung nag-stood out for me yung costume na Thailand, and especially parang di ba, which brings me na when you think of Thailand, you'll think of the pagodas, you'll think of the temples in Thailand.
Right.
Pero no, what she showcased is the Siamese fighting fish na parang not really parang, not really reminiscent of what a national costume would be. Pero it's effective, and it's for a platform like Miss Universe. It is effective na pinakita niya yung that side of the culture of the Thai people. So next one would be Indonesia. Like especially when nag-dim yung lights, oh my God, it showed the true, for me kasi it showed what a Komodo dragon is about. It's not just a lizard that is right there or whatever. Pero it showed kasi the flavor, and it showed the way she presented it. It showed the personality of a Komodo dragon, at least for based on how I know it. No? Parang yung red na light na parang it shows na that Komodo dragon is the king of the lizards and whatnot. So parang there's this another factor and another facet of how she presented the costume. Pero going to the other side naman, which is how tasteful it is, at least for my basic bitch taste. Yun.
Yes.
Si Peru talaga, I think she stood out for me, especially yung wings. I mean,
Yeah.
the ombreness of the wing, you know, parang it's just so pleasing to the eye. So parang it's simple but impactful at the same time. But again, you also have to, we cannot really forget Nepal. I like what Lance mentioned. Na parang she did not really hide her figure, pero it parang she made it to a point na that's not the first thing that you will see from her, but rather the stories that she brings, and rather the representation that she wants to put on the stage. Yun. And also Japan, parang no matter how simple it is.
Yeah.
Kasi ano parang for me kasi naisip ko yung ano yung parang yung simple life ng mga on how simple life is in Japan, not really in Tokyo, Japan, kasi it's a different story. Pero
The minimalism.
the
Countryside.
minimalism, di ba? Parang it shows na it's not all about the how wide you make sakop the whole stage just to represent who you are and represent the country you're from, but more so the culture and more so the ang simple-simple kasi ng costume niya, pero it's so impactful for me kasi
Super.
parang ano it's so simple. Yeah, sorry, out of words. Pero ang simple kasi niya na it's just enough and just right to make a statement of what she wants to say.
Yep.
And also Bahamas. So parang as an arts and crafts kid, parang that's as a teacher, kung magiging teacher, parang 10 out of 10 siya sa MAPE, ganyan, yung arts na. Parang yung painting lang yung hiningi, pero binigyan ka ng mock-up, ganyan.
Siya ba yung,
Aeroplano
yung
na.
may entire theme park behind her? That's a
Yung may
wonder.
aeroplano, flamingo.
Right.
May wonder tuloy, Nico.
May
Ang saya.
theme.
Gagawin niyo ba yan?
Walked with the entire stage and the entire backdrop.
Tsaka parang what we normally see from Bahamas kasi are the feathers and whatnot, diba? Pero the way she did it, parang it's still, the feathers are still there. I mean, yung sun niya, I think it's a sun, sa likod niya, are still made of feathers. So parang it's a good bridge to what we normally see from the representatives of their country to a different side na nagta-transition din. Na parang nakikita kasi natin and Miss Universe not only talks about the traditions and not only talks about the stories of these women na alam nating lahat, but more so there are stories na hindi pa natin alam, and it makes us all eager to listen to their stories more and apply kung ano mang mga learnings na makukuha natin sa stories nila, and hopefully in how we present our everyday lives. Pero yun nga, having these stories presented, I really have to give kudos to these two other women, si Singapore and si Myanmar. Parang I cannot imagine how much of a hassle and how tiring it is to be in Florida nang wala kang damit. Na parang
Grabe.
I can't imagine kung anong ginagawa ng team behind ng Myanmar representative. Paano nila na pull off lahat ng yon, na parang did they do an urgent shipping from Myanmar ng costume and whatnot. Pero the way that they pulled it off, and they pulled it off really well.
Yeah.
And with that message, diba, parang it takes so much courage, especially that she knows she has to go back to her country. So that's a statement piece, and especially also for Singapore, no matter how simple it is, it's tastefully done. Na hindi siya sobrang this is my advocacy, this is my ganyan. Pero it's like parang, sorry, as a sucker fan of RuPaul's Drag Race, that reveal is just enough to make a statement, diba?
Right.
So yun. Well, I also have to give props to the Philippines. Parang personally, I did not 100% like what I've seen on stage, but syempre since curious ako kung ano nangyari, ba't may ganyan, mga kwento kung bakit incomplete yung presentation. Parang hearing all these stories, parang okay, it made sense. Parang there's just paano ba, choices made that for me personally could have been avoided, yung ganong klaseng ganong mishap that we all know would be a big a big talking point even years beyond this competition, na parang um I just wish na nagkaroon ng mas siguro another day or two or week na add more to the preparation, o kung
Yeah.
I don't know, parang it's just a missed opportunity for me to showcase what Rabia can do to represent the Philippines. But although she did good, I mean Rabia itself, Rabia herself,
naman.
she
Yeah.
did really, really good.
Super.
Especially nung nalaman ko na 20 kilograms yung pakpak. Siko, oh my God.
And the
Pero kasi
face,
ano
oh my gosh.
diba? Parang,
Pawitit kami ng mom ko. Ang ganda-ganda niya.
ang
Kasi
ganda niya,
lalo
diba?
siyang gumaganda. Yeah.
and,
Every
and the
time.
way she carried herself, nang dala niya yung 20 kilograms na pakpak na yun, is really commendable. But which brings me to my another point na it's a choice, it's a design choice. And why would you make your candidate bring 20 kilos if
Oo nga.
there are already, di ba? Parang hindi naman, we don't want Rabia naman to be haggard and everything na naglalakad siya. Although
Correct.
she did it gracefully and did it really, really well. Pero
Super.
yun lang, why? I just want to ask why. I mean, okay, I'm sure they have their own reasons, and parang they have their own this design choices bakit yun yung ginawa nila. But sayang lang na it should have been done better. But although she did good, I think lang it could have been better to make a mark. I mean, pero yeah, then again, I think hindi naman kasi kasama sa scoring ang national costume, 'di ba? So
So,
kasi
that's
ano yun, 'di ba? So just like 2018 naman, I did not really like Catriona's costume in 2018.
Same.
Yeah. Pero she ultimately she won, so I think I'm really hopeful that Rabia can pull off. I'm just really sad na nung nag-live siya, yung quick live. Sorry, tinawid ko talaga. Yung nag-quick live siya, parang oh my God, the pressure is
super.
there, and nafe-feel na niya talaga yung pressure, especially parang ano lang yung bata. Gusto ko yung bata, ang kapal ng mukha, ang matanda.
Anong edad mo?
25. She just wants to make us proud and make her country proud. So parang why not give her the chance to represent us. Yun lang, because it could have been better, pero okay. Wala lang, nasasayangan kasi talaga ako na parang the hype is so big. The hype is parang it's all a secret. It's all parang wait until you see me and then you'll see that on stage.
Biglang.
Okay, another story.
At least Gazini had the Philippine Eagle concept. Ito parang lang wings.
Correct.
Philippine colors. I mean, I wish they could have pegged it with something, with a story that Rabia is well known, or Rabia is, parang nasa puso niya yung story na yun. Like, there's a lot of things to tell about Iloilo. She could have gone to her roots na lang, or she could have gone to their roots. With that.
But what I didn't necessarily like is the way it was presented as if she is a Victoria's Secret angel, which for me is really parang
I know.
Somehow a backward step sa causes and purpose ng Miss Universe ultimately. Pero
That's right. Pero we can talk further about that. Before we go to Thais para mas ma-flash out natin yung costume ni Rabia Mateo. Pag-usapan natin yan. But before we go to Thais, pag-usapan natin ng very light yung Malaysia. Ma'am, kumusta naman yung may dalawang nagtulak ng bahay na sa likod? Diyos ko. Maganda sana yung
tatlo.
Oo, naging tatlo. Sorry talaga. It could have been a good story. Kasi maganda yung kwento nun di ba? Yun yung may mag-change costume pa siya at lahat. Pero nahasal ako na parang, girl, lumabas ka na sa bohoy. Ang tagal, no? Yun lang.
Gusto naman ngayon yung gusto naman ngayon yung mga pa-suspense, di ba? Dahil may isang ang tagal lumabas ng cocoon.
Yeah.
Go, Thais! Na akala ko ay taga-Pateros.
Habang kami on the gaming side, we're all asking, who's that Pokemon?
Who's that Pokemon?
Miss Pateros!
Miss Patero, si that
Itlog
Pokemon.
pala ng itik. So, ayun. Ayun sa Miss Malaysia nakakaloka kasi ano siya, no, cause of delay. At muntik na tinawag si Miss Finland para i-airport control yung runway. At paalisin na siya.
Right, right.
At
Yeah.
nagagalit si Bahamas kasi yung eroplano nasa pasan-pasan
Oo.
niya.
Correct.
Papalag kasi may bahay, may barong-barong sa runway. Kailangan si Miss Finland para maalis siya. So, ano ba, parang, if we're gonna talk about that, it really happens. And that's why and that's why the Miss Universe National Costume Competition for the last at least 5 years is now a separate event. No?
Yeah.
Kasi noon, these costume mishaps happen all the time. And they resorted to recording it in segments. So when the girls are presenting themselves, yung introduction part ng pageant, naka-costume na sila but this is recorded. Kagaya nung kay Pia Wurtzbach na era. But tawag dito, I like this na merong presentation na. It's a separate show because it really makes you, even if it doesn't count towards your score as actual finalist, it just means na this is something that you can really, it's a platform, it's a global platform you can really utilize to, sabi nga ni Mark to highlight things from your culture or advocacies that you want highlighted. So maraming gumawa ng ganun at marami akong gusto sa mga ganun din. I always like those kinds of efforts. But for my own favorites, ako na ba? Pwede na ba ako mag-favorite?
Yes, go.
Yes, go.
So,
Yes.
okay, I think I'll have to count in Venezuela. That's a very
yeah.
Oo.
sabi ko sa inyo, geography nerd ako dahil sa Miss Universe. The reason why Venezuela's costume is like that, yung lightning, because Venezuela is the most lightning-prone country in the world. You know why? Because there's a phenomenon on Lake. I forgot the name of the lake, but the name of the lake. There's a lake in Venezuela where there is a Tesla coil na lightning catcher,
Okay.
which provides electricity. Kasi sobrang, every hour, there's like 40 lightning strikes.
Whoa.
Ganun
Oh my God.
wild. Oo, dun sa
Intense.
area na yun ng,
It's Lake Maracaibo. Gusto mo Google
Lake
talaga?
Maracaibo, ayun, yes. So Lake Maracaibo is the lake in Venezuela that gets the most lightning strikes per land area in the world.
Yeah.
So, and because of that, they've harnessed it into an electricity source.
Nice, no?
So
Nice.
imagine, and I love that for the first time Venezuela used this as a
Perfect.
costume,
Nice.
kasi like Venezuela has used a lot of their Latin American influences. There was even one beautiful Miss Venezuela outfit na it was made of mirrors, glass siya, na parang like and then basta it was very beautiful. But this one is something I like kasi it gives a glimpse of what Venezuela is other than a country that's medyo wasak-wasak din like the Philippines. medyo gulo-gulo din yung country nila.
Right.
But yung fantastic phenomenon na yun of like, imagine lightning strikes 40 an hour is insane. The next would be Peru with the flamingo costume.
Nice.
I really love that one. That was sorry Rabia, no, but that's a better interpretation of parang an animal and your flag in one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Right.
like or like your national colors in a
Right,
flag, and then there's an animal, there's a wing, at least the wings. Mas may reason yun yung hinahanap ko. What the hell are their wings? Diba? Are you what?
Yeah.
An eagle, an angel? Again,
A
it's a design
fairy.
problem, not Rabia's fault at all.
Right.
Yun yung
That's right.
lagi kong point sa Twitter. But I love Peru, and it was just truly unfortunate that Rabia had to follow up that kasi Peru's was fantastic. And what else? Indonesia's Komodo dragon is one of my favorites. Did you know that it's actually lit up As in, there's LED sa scales niya.
Correct.
So, hindi lang
Yes.
masyadong nakita. Hindi lang
Nakita,
masyadong nakita
oo.
kasi hindi dinim yung lights kagaya ni Ireland tsaka ni Finland. But
Yeah.
there's actually red light, LED lights on the scales.
True.
So I love these kinds of things. Like Venezuela, little known facts about the countries. Indonesia is actually in a 3-year or 5-year period where you cannot go to where the Komodo dragons live. It used to be their one of their highest sources of tourism money to visit the
Mhm.
Lesser Sundar Islands where the Komodos live. It's a dream for
Interesting.
me because Komodos are my favorite reptiles. As in, like, I love them. The
Oh.
Komodo dragon is the animal on their piso. The Indonesian money. So ganun ka-important
Interesting.
ang Komodo sa culture ng Korea, ng Indonesia. So kung Jose Rizal lang nasa piso natin, ang nasa piso ng Indonesia ay ang Komodo dragon.
Ay,
So, yeah.
natawa ako, sabi mo nasa piso. Paano pag naging tama raw si Rabia Mateo, ma'am?
Diba? I mean, I
Diba?
wouldn't mind, girl. She's like a hot
Yes!
dance and like,
Yes.
and
Yes.
she's parang, di ba, parang tama raw, di ba, princess. I love it. Like,
Diba?
favorite porn.
Yes.
Ayun. Pero imagine that. So, but then, yun yung feature nila because they're in parang period where you cannot go to the Lesser Sundar Islands where the Komodos live for at least 5 years. Kasi they're trying to replenish yung kasi ang nangyayari ngayon sa Komodo dragon, sobrang invested ako. Sorry. And I
Laban.
was heartbreaking because I was supposed to visit them in 2018. And that was the first year that they closed the island. So, tawag dito, they were there because they had to do it because the Komodo dragons have turned into tamed ones, hindi na wild. So, umaasa na lang sila sa food na binibigay ng tourists. So, kasi sa sobrang prevalent ng tourists dun sa island, yung pag tinapon sila ng, like, tourists would bring like an entire baboy and then feed the Komodos. And nagagano na lang sila na, okay, tourists, kakain sila. So, hindi na sila wild. So, naging tame na yung mga Komodos. So, tinuturuan sila ulit na maging, makalimutan na may mga turista. And live the life na. Tapos kung sino lang yung mga nakatira dun sa islands na yun, sila lang yun. So, may ganong klaseng, parang the Indonesians miss the Komodos. Parang ganon. So, that's the reason why Indonesia wore a Komodo dragon costume. What else? Si Miss India. Do you remember her lotus flower saree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Guys, it's the same thing as like how the Thais do it noon when they wear the traditional Thai queen costume. That's the one they wear with a crown na yung sobrang taas na parang temple, whatever. And then the Koreans wear the hanbok all the time because it's just so freaking beautiful when made like dati the Korean contestants would wear hanboks that would cost 1 million pesos. Yung ganung klaseng sobrang mamahal na mga hanbok. But India did it now. India could have gone the modern, interpretation, but she went fully traditional. She wore a saree that's the color of the lotus flower, and then she presented it na sobrang parang lumulutang lang siya.
Ganda.
Beautiful.
Ganda.
Then next, and you could really see it's a high quality saree, like talagang glowing kahit ganun lang siya kasimple. And then my top pick is of course the one and only Nepal. Nepal is my favorite. The first time I saw that's the costume of Nepal, it blew my mind. Nepal is celebrating, I think, 100 years or 150 years or something of that sort of the Mount Everest ascents, and that's why they're commemorating the climbers who climbed Mount Everest because it brought so much economic value to Nepal. Kasi ang laki ng mga cost, ang laki ng bayad ng pag umaakyat ka doon, no. They're also honoring the dead. That's why the prayer flags were there. Because you die in
Yes,
Nepal,
yes.
your marker sa body mo is actually a prayer flag na
Oh my gosh.
nakatay na ganun. So there are so many dead climbers in Nepal na hindi pa
Yeah.
naka-claim ang mga bodies.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it's one weird effect of climate change that now ice in the Himalayas are very thin, na minsan nagme-melt siya, exposing the bodies of
Oh
previous
my gosh.
killed mountaineers. So
What?
during a record summer season in Nepal, in the Himalayas, they are able to retrieve up to 25 to 30 bodies a season dahil sobrang
Oh
nagme-melt
my
yung ice.
god.
My
So
goodness.
it's a literal graveyard, but they try their best to honor na to retrieve the bodies. Kasi imagine some people have been dead there for like 70, 60 years na hindi pa nakukuha yung
My
katawan. So
goodness.
it's a good like representation na
Yeah.
ginawa yun ni Miss Nepal. It wasn't tama nga si Lance, it wasn't a sexy silhouette. It was reminiscent of when Miss USA wore an astronaut costume.
Correct.
Yes.
So,
Correct.
Yes.
it had the same effect to me na ang laki ng impact visually, but it didn't have to feel na parang kailangan magpa-sexy. Like, it was honoring people who have, passed on, but brought so much economic help to a country like Nepal. So
True.
yun, yung aking picks. Rabian, definitely, picks. Saya, pareho kami yung opinion ni Mark. It was made for somebody. It was a design problem because it was made for somebody much taller, and they had to edit down and compromise a lot of the design, and that's why it looked like that. So when things have to be compromised that way, I feel na dapat na lang ginawa is to go for option B.
Yeah.
Alam mo yun? So, parang like, there have been so many things. I have to add pala si Thailand, ang isa sa mga favorite kong animal costumes. Only because I'm a Pisces and she's a fish. So, good job to whoever made. But the Thais are always really, really good with their costumes. May tanong tayo. Kung may dark horse, ano yun?
Yeah.
Interesting yung tanong. Kung may dark horse,
It's actually a comment from Ace.
I think the only
Hindi
reason why
naman.
she became a black sheep kasi the costume wore her instead of her wearing the costume. I mean, it was too big for that final frame. It would have worked completely differently if it was designed a different way. Like if it was actual wings on the back and not something that's sticking from her hip. Alam mo, it really is just
True.
Ako, talaga, that concept is wonderful. Have you seen the actual, like, the fit
Ganda.
model? Diba?
Right.
Ang ganda.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
it didn't look good on a small frame simply because ang dapat sinusolusyonan nyo ay yung something that would look good in a small frame. Hindi yung parang, natulputol nyo yung costume para it's frustrating. It's not completely ugly. The concept is fine. A flag, it's a classic concept. I mean, diba? Parang lagi naman may ganun. Sometimes it will always have to be like, buti nga hindi mantel na Filipiniano.
Oh my God.
Some previous years, diba?
So much memories.
Oh my God. Cake icing. Oh God.
Ice gem
Rachel
ice.
Peters na nagsari manok na she can't even hold up the headdress.
The manok.
Oh my God. Anyone like the costume Israel? No, we don't like that country right now. Charot.
Yes, I agree.
Grabe.
We kind of don't like that country right now. So yeah. I will comment, but it will be something political. Charot. They had to do that because they're one of the top vaccinated countries in the world.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was a statement to say na tignan nyo pag hindi na natin kailangan ng mask, ginagawa na lang yung damit.
Diba?
Sabi nga ng kaibigan ko, kung hindi naman kayo, kung fake country kayo. Fake country! Oh my God, so political na siya.
I love it.
Kayo wala talaga kayong culture. Sabi, kaya ganun lang yung nagagawa yung costume. Pero ang sabi na wala naman talaga matinong costume si Miss Israel dati na. So, parang ako, Perry. Sana nag-Gal na lang siya, di ba? So,
Pwede pa. Pwede pa.
Wonder Woman.
Oo.
Pero, maraming nagsabi, sorry, dagdag ko lang, yung nasa nag-Darna costume si Rabi. Actually, sobrang
Pwede. Pwede.
You would wear a Darna costume
Actually.
but it didn't. Kasi iniisip ko, if they're going for the sexy, if they're going for the Victoria's Secret appeal, yung strong woman kind of thing, Rabiya would have looked absolutely more wonderful than
Darna.
Canada.
Yep.
Yung Canada had a superhuman costume. And years ago, Miss USA wore a Wonder Woman costume.
Yeah.
And years ago then, Japan wore a Sailor Moon costume.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
alam mo yun, kaya talaga dapat ng Philippines na if they want to shed the whole Filipiniana
That's right.
conservative eme.
Yeah.
Then the first punch would have been for this era of Shamsi Supsup's national directorship. But, Darna, di ba? Parang ultimate expression of the strong Filipina.
Masaya yun, tapos may
Right
reverse sa
now.
stage. Naka-cover up siya. Tapos bilang iikot siya. Pag ikot niya, Darna na.
Yes!
Like may reveal. As in, like,
Tapos,
gawin nyo, pero ewan ko paano nyo gagawin. Pero like, may bato siya, tapos bigla may
Correct.
smoke. Tapos, magpapalit si Narda to Darna.
Exactly.
Tapos, kayo mga host.
alam, magandang idea yan. For 2021, kasi 2022 na edition to, diba? 2021, dapat ganun gawin ni ni candidate. Dapat yung bato ibigay sa judge. Ay, sorry, sa tawag dito sa mga host. Tapos mag-acting-actingan si bakla o kunwari ikaw si Ding ha. Ding, ang bato sa tapo ni host. Diba? Gano.
Tapos may kasabog, tapos may
Correct.
na white. Tapos bigla sa reveal. Diba?
Uy, seryoso, magandang idea yun. Uy, isa-just yan.
Gusto nyo bang malokal ng gano'n?
Especially now, twice na na-cancel ang Darna. Wala pa ding Darna.
Tapos sasabihin ng ng host, give her a stone, she becomes airborne.
Oh my God! Gusto ko yun!
Pero parang may double meaning, give her a stone.
Ay, grabe.
Oo.
And then she will go after getting the star.
Classic Filipiniana with Darna reveal. Pwede.
Pwede.
Diba? Biglang bubuksan yung Filipiniana.
Right. Right.
Darna.
Ganda yun.
Correct.
Pwede.
There's
I
also a
love it.
question. What's your worst Miss Philippines costume in Miss Universe?
Uy, may sabihin ako.
Red ribbon
Can I say?
Red
Sorry,
ribbon
yung
cake of MJ Lastimosa.
MJ Lastimosa, yes. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Hindi ko talaga
Which
bet
one?
yun. Ayaw
The
din.
silver one?
Yung icing.
Icing cake.
Ice gem.
It's basically a dress with different flowers.
I need to look for that.
Ayaw
Plus,
din,
hindi Go.
ayaw din ni MJ, 'di ba? Napilitan lang din siya.
Ayaw din niya.
Tama ba tayo? Si Barazay, sorry, na-mention ko na talaga yun. Si Barazay yung nag-design nung national costume na yun, 'di ba? Yun yung time na si Barazay.
And the evening gown.
Oh,
And the evening gown as well, yeah. O, 'di ba? Gusto mo yun?
Yan, yung icing cake, yes.
Siguro
The inspiration
Happy
here
birthday,
was,
Junjun.
Flowers of May. Dapat
Glorious
Ang
naman.
ganda kasi ng color combination. Parang
But
it didn't translate.
Siguro
Plus
that's why,
also-
it's so siguro
Uy, may
kaya,
panagbenga rin
kaya
this
I have
year.
a soft spot for Costa Rica this year. Kasi it's an
Ayun,
elevated
sorry.
version.
Sorry,
Of-
Costa Rica
of
pala yung
MJ's.
sinasabi ko, hindi pala Guatemala. Costa Rica, correct. Tama.
with
Go.
the skirt and the purple orchid.
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh, the orchids. That was
I love
amazing. That was interesting.
Ganda.
Sino
that's
yung
my
may parang panagbenga na may mga sunflower? Ano ba yun?
Si Dominican Republic.
Dominican
Yung-
Republic.
Sabi ko, graduate pa
Panagbenga.
Graduate ng UP.
Graduation ng UP.
Ganyan yun.
Actually, St. Louis University. Char.
Baguio. I don't know what else worst Miss Universe costume, pero maybe we can talk about the best quickly.
Yes.
I have a top
I
three.
want
Go.
My number 3 would be Janine Tugonon. The first time we
Here.
we wore a Mindanao Islam inspired costume.
That's right.
Na
Yes, yes.
halos ginaya ni Maxine Medina yung
Yeah.
concept na ganon. But I feel that Janine wore that costume better. My
Yes, she
second would be second best would be Gazini, which actually won national costume competition last year.
Agree.
It was the Philippine Eagle na nasa gown niya. It was Carrie Santiago, and
True.
it was just a
Yes.
mechanical wonder.
Yeah.
Like how
I
can
love
a
Carrie
gown
Santiago.
have
It's a-
moving parts?
It's
Na
a literal
actual
mechanical.
gown? I
Correct.
know, and
It's like a
it was
suit, armor suit.
yeah, but it's so damn beautiful.
Super.
And it won. Yeah, she
Yeah,
looked
that
like
one.
the Philippine Eagle actually. Like yeah,
Super.
without
Yeah,
looking
The
like
Wonder
a
Woman ng
caricature.
Philippines.
So
Yeah.
talaga
first-
yung kasi researching and then
Diba? But
Told
here's
you
what you have
guys.
to look at, and my favorite, my absolute favorite. Ang gown niya was a Filipiniana gown, which is like literally naka-sculpt sa body niya, and then the Filipiniana butterfly sleeves, but it was so beautiful. It was the same pattern except for the sleeves. May sleeve lang tong gown na to, but it was exactly the same pattern as her evening gown, the finale evening gown. And then she had a headdress, and the feature that really stood out is she was holding a palm leaves na dalawang nakaganon na palm leaves, and then she was twirling it like a baton while she was walking.
Sino to? Sino to?
Ano to?
It's Miriam Kiambao, 1999.
Wow, correct.
Oh.
I agree.
She went down the stairs wearing that national costume. Kasi sunod-sunod yun na laging Filipiniana ang suot nila, right? Kasi never nag-iba ang national costume but just Filipiniana. But
Just the one?
that chica, yes.
Yes.
She has a palm frond.
Ganda.
She wasn't supposed to hold the palm frond. It was a late addition to her costume. She realized kasi that because the theme of the intro of 1999 Trinidad and Tobago is a carnival. It was one of the most fantastic opening numbers of the Miss Universe. May mga apoy may mga fire breathers, and then there were mga mascots na they were standing on stilts. It was such a fantastic opening number, and she felt that she was wearing something super formal. So what she did was she asked if she can bring a palm frond, and then ginawa niyang baton. Ganun.
Ganda nun.
So, it was
Si Mama.
beautiful. Like for
Ang
me,
poise niya dun. Grabe.
super poise. I think
talaga.
after the Miss Universe preliminaries na natumba siya,
Yes.
that was the first time they saw her again, and then the judges loved it. So I think that's one of the
Super.
reasons why she came up to first runner-up at that time.
Yeah. Diyos
Ayun
ko.
lang naman.
I have to agree with you though. Kung hindi lang siya homophobic, no? As in, I will still celebrate
I
that
will
costume.
still celebrate.
yes.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
it has to come with a caveat that unfortunately, Miss Miriam
Ay,
Q
nako.
became a misogynist Bible
Yeah,
thumper, but
Yes.
poor thing that she
Yeah.
had to be that. She could have been a beacon of equality,
Exactly. Yeah.
Wala eh. Pero, but she did very well during her edition. Hindi ko lang na siya supportahan up to now. But
She does
And
not
wait,
put the Q in LGBTQ. Char.
Walang ambag daw, ah.
Oo. Walang ambag
Wala
yan,
daw
ha?
siyang ambag.
Ang daming tagline si Mike for this.
I
Is it
love
20?
it.
Wait, correct me if I'm wrong. Is it 2020 or 2021?
Which one?
Which one?
Sino? This year?
The upcoming one. Oh, this
2020.
2020.
Okay, so
2020
because
pa rin.
they did not have a 2020 edition, it had to be
Last
done this year.
Yep.
The 2021 edition will be done this December.
So it's gonna be the shortest
Mm.
rain.
The shortest reign.
Correct.
reign
Oh my
ever
God.
Grabe, no?
Well, Rabina is shorter than the national costume.
Ang witty mo ngayon, Mike. Bakit ganyan?
Oh
my God, Mikey.
Nakatulog yan.
Guys.
Ang hirap din for Zoe, even if her reign was long, she wasn't able to do that much because she was on
Totoo.
Like, I mean,
Sobrang sayang.
I would rather have a short reign while I'm around rather than having a long reign where I'm just stuck in the condo.
Yeah.
But it boded her well. What happened was she was invited to so many speaking engagements
Yeah.
online. So
Online.
people got to know her like as somebody who can really speak her mind.
Okay.
Unfortunately, yun nga lang, visibility is important, but nakagawa naman niya yung at least why the Miss Universe organization liked her. Kasi nga she's super brainy. Marical Balagtas Peacock inspired costume is also
Favorite.
very meaningful.
Guys, yun yung favorite ko talaga. Yung kay
talaga.
Maricar Balagtas talaga, I swear. Kasi it's
JK
tribal
pumapalo
eh. It's
sa mga comments.
correct. Like it's not the usual eh. I have to agree with Thais also. Kay Janine Tugonon din. Now, that was the first na parang nag Mindanaoan siya di ba, na Maranao ba, I don't know. It was Mindanao costume Galing. Ang gusto ko lang sana for the national costume tama parang it's a mix of the culture, pop culture, the culture. I mean, talk about the Philippines, showcase the Philippines in a different way, in a unique way di ba? Like, example, Thailand in 2000, correct me if I'm wrong, 15 or 14, yung nagtuktok, yung nanalo sila doon, nakatuktok siya na costume.
Dito,
That was so
Layo.
cute.
Yung sa Binibining Pilipinas pa lang,
Yeah.
the regional costumes they showcased there were all unique. Like, alam yung Mandaue City, if you remember, yung parang
Yes!
basket siya.
Yes!
Ganun lang.
That was
local pa
beautiful.
lang.
Yun yung butterflies
Local
or
lang yun.
basket lang. Tama ba?
Oo. I think the whole costume was made of baskets.
Yun, di ba?
Nagawa sa Mandaue City.
We can think that way Yung ganung pag-envision sana, di ba? Ang inisip ko tuloy, ang goal ba nila is to stand out and make it modern?
It's not,
Diba?
I don't think, okay, so we've never nailed it. Like, hindi tayo ganun talaga ka-powerhouse in terms of a national costume presentation.
Yep.
So, I guess, kaya sabi ko nga, it really makes well if we constructively criticize it. Para lang mag-improve. Maricar Balagtas she was holding peacock feathers, but her bodysuit is pintados. She was it was a homage to the tattooed culture of the pintados. Sobrang ganda ng time na yun kasi hindi laging indigenous, but the first indigenous costume was actually Charlene Gonzalez.
Balay-balay.
It was a Maranao costume with the headdress, the panuka, and then panika, and then it was very Southern Mindanao then, but not Islamic. So yun kay Janine yung first. Ayun, so like, di ba ang dami mong pwedeng i-share at nakakaloka ang Philippines, sobrang dami nating pwedeng i-feature. So,
Yes.
like, before going modern, maybe there's something that we could do, like, to really feature our own cultures first, uniquely at hindi nakakaloka na parang, it's a mismatch. Like, yun yung criticism kay Catriona na sobrang halo-halo. It was, imagine it's si Polly Dreamweaver, but nasa likod niya is a parol from Pampanga.
Correct.
Yeah,
and then
with dazzle shoes.
Yeah.
So ang ano daw dun is the connection from the islands, parang Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, like. Pero no, I'd rather you have
a lot.
I'd rather you have one thing and then
good,
really do it good. So yun lang naman.
I also enjoy Pia Words back, in fairness. Yung
the
white hair, no?
with the pearls.
Yeah.
Yes, grab.
Yes.
The way she presented it, oh my God.
Yeah.
Tapos may pamaypay pa siyang
I
ganyan.
agree.
And
the word back.
It's beautiful.
Diba? And
Kinikilig ako, I love it.
And even if it has a lot of adornments
Yes.
to it, because it's monochromatic, I guess the monochromaticness of it really makes it look so elevated and clean
That's
and
true.
polished.
And clean.
That's
And then,
true.
di ba kasi pearls siya, so the texture was like really
Yes. With the capis on the I think
Yep.
it's capis, the round things on
Yeah.
the skin.
I think it is.
Pero iniisip
I
ko din,
know.
there was one Miss Universe who represented my culture. Kinatuwa kaming lahat. Yung mga banga pa,
Mm.
kompleto with the banga, pero they made it
Yep.
gold. Kaya it was highlight. I think,
Right.
sinusearch ko ngayon na inobas na. It was Eileen
Damiles,
Damiles,
yes.
1996.
Eileen Damilas. Oh my gosh,
Uh,
90 something.
Eileen
1996.
Nagawa
Damiles.
siya.
94?
And at
Eileen
96 daw.
Damiles is, tawag dito, nanalo siya ng best,
Photogenic, I think.
photogenic.
Pero there's
Beautiful.
this, no, parang the way the Philippines kapag nasa Miss Universe stage na sila on how we present and represent through our national costumes, it's almost always better yung ginagawa sa Binibining Pilipinas and in this one sa Miss Universe
Every
Philippines.
time. Every
Diba?
time.
Proper reason.
It's parang, what happened? What happens kapag tinatrain ka na and whatnot? Kasi mas magaganda yung mga, I really have to make an exception do sa City of the Stars ng recent ni ang tawag dito ni Gumabaw. Hindi ko talaga bet yan pero yung yung 'di ba parang it's almost always mas maganda yung nasa local pageant
Super.
natin na ipapadala sa
Super.
Miss Universe rather than yung
Super.
ipapakita natin sa mismong Miss Universe stage. Like, why?
Taper down tayo bigla, no? But it was a lot to, sabi nga ni Thais, no, there can be a lot to discuss and talk about in the national costume. But I guess we can just look forward to the next Miss Universe, and I hope that we all learn from all these bashing and all these conversations rather, at i-push na sana yung tama raw or yung dar na costume na yun. Sana mapakinggan yung panukala natin sa sangkatauhan, no, sa Miss Universe
I know.
Philippines organization na
Oo.
please ipasok na yung Darna na yan kung pwede lang, no?
I would
Alright.
really love to see it in my lifetime.
Same.
Inaabangan ko magkaroon ng barrel woman, yung parang sa Igoro. Tapos ang reveal niya, pagbagsak nung barrel, yung pala, yung puro baka na
Where,
sa ulo niya.
alam mo,
Mas gusto ko yung barrel
creativity
man ng
natin,
Baguio. Yun yung ilagay niya sa national
Oo nga. Baka sa Miss Universe na lang.
ko rin.
Wrong
May
pageant,
reveal.
Mikey.
O sige, jeepney na lang. Jeepney.
Pwede jeepney, nagtuktok ang Thailand eh. Okay.
Diba?
Yeah. We can talk about more about the national costume in the next days to come. Syempre, meron pa tayo. May space pa si Thais bukas. But before we get to the next topic, we'll just promote that. Thais, do the honor. So, my Twitter space discussion. Si Thais, go ahead.
Yes, we're inviting you to join Shared Spaces Saturday, tomorrow at 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. We are having a Miss Universe special, and our special guests will include Miss Universe 2015 Pia Wurzbach and a host of other guests who are pageant experts. Co-hosting our spaces would be, our team ASIM, the group that organizes it, and then Carl Molina and Tito Ampol Velasco, they're both pageant experts, pageant fans. And marami pang special guests that will just drop in. Some are live from Miami, where the Miss Universe 2020 is going to be held. Ayun, we'll have so many, sobrang daming insights. We prepared a game for everyone joining. May mga pa-trivia tayo. It's called, and you can join the conversation. Just use hashtag shared spaces and hashtag Miss You Like Crazy. We hope it's going to be a really, really fun discussion. I've been in many spaces and IG lives na medyo sobrang toxic talaga ng usapan. We don't want that for this discussion. We want this to be a really respectful and open discussion on the conduct of the Miss Universe pageant, the strategies of the Miss Philippines this season. But make no mistake, everything that we're gonna do there is 100% in support of Rabia Mateo, our candidate.
Yes.
Wala tayong Rabia bashing. Because what's the freaking point to bash your own candidate? She really needs all the support that we need right now. What we can do though is to constructively criticize whatever we see could improve for our next candidate. Again, we have a baby national organization for Miss Universe.
True.
Really just wala pang isang taon ng Miss Universe organization
That's right.
sa Pilipinas. So na bagong nagkaroon ng franchise ng Miss Universe. So they really need all the support and help that they can get. And if it has to be constructive criticism, they know that they need that. But what we're going to see then bukas is people who are in the team, in Team Rabia. So, we'll have insider information about what her preparation is. We have MJ Felipe, who's covering Miss Universe from Miami.
Yes.
And so excited to hear some insider info then from his coverage. What else? Pageant experts, pageant fans. We'll have Jojo Bergais, who designed the shoes for this year's edition. And we'll have three beauty queens, Carla Lizardo, Bianca Guidotti, and Pia Wurzbach, to join us.
Amazing.
To join us. And hindi pa na-confirm, but Ariela Arida may be joining.
Yes.
But it's gonna be an interesting, light conversation. We're gonna have so much, discussion on why is it such a huge thing in the Philippines? I think that yun talaga. Why are we crazy for Miss U?
That's why. Okay.
It's gonna be interesting.
We will be there. We will be there.
Please be there.
We'll join.
Hanggang alas 12 kami doon kahit tapos na kayo. Basta ano kami, bahala kayo dyan. Oh, by the way,
Kahit show na talaga.
True. Guys, by the way, andito si MJ Felipe, katabi mo talaga. Ayan, no? Si Maya pala.
Si Maya.
Yan yung MJ Felipe natin.
That's what the M stands for. Maya Juliano Felipe.
Exactly. Diba? Revelation.
Nasa Miami, Florida pala.
Yes.
Si Maya.
Yeah.
Ang masabi ko lang, sana napadala din ako sa ibang bansa. At sana nakausap ko si Bright to win, diba? Kasi hanggang elections lang tayo.
Bright win talaga.
Galing ni MJ. But,
that was a very rich conversation, guys. As in, grabe talaga. Pag pumapasok ka talaga dito sa usapan namin, dami namin natututunan talaga. And then, nag-expand yung conversation. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And it's super, para kaming nag-aaral talaga dito. But really appreciate it.
I love it.
I-reveal na natin ang ating Miss Universe 2020 BBS Top 20. Alright. Ito, we will be flashing our top 20 pero ginamit muna natin yung old format natin, no? I was able to share with you yung poll natin. So ito may numbers na talaga tayo, no? I was able to share this sa group chat natin. Let me just flash may pa-slide tayo, ma'am. Ganun tayo ka-invested.
Natin, di ba?
Yes. Ma'am, and investment is the real sa Miss Universe, I'm telling you.
And for those in the chat, check if your choices made it to the top 20. And if not, then tell us what your choices are sa chat.
Yep. All right, so how did we go about this? So biglaan lang talaga to. Before nag-announce sa Miss Universe na it's gonna be top 21 and then 10 and then 5. Parang before this, nag-create talaga kami guys ng playlist from the YouTube. Sabi ko, oy gawat, ito may playlist panoorin natin and then maghanap tayo ng mamili tayo per region or per continent. So ito yung result nung parang pa-poll natin. But as we go along, isa-isahin natin yung mga candidates per region and then you can share your insights about this particular candidate or meron ka bang bet dun na hindi nasama, no? So we'll start off with diba? Yeah. All right, we'll start off with Asia. Tama ba ako? Africa and Asia Pacific.
African Asia.
Okay.
Powerhouse.
So tignan natin based on our polls out of the 6-7 na sumagot dun sa poll natin. Ang unang pasok sa top 20 natin ay drumroll please.
Nico, para ka talagang MC.
Yes, we have Australia. Australia was our
I
first.
like Australia.
What do you think about
like
Australia?
I like
I love her. She's very smart.
Yes.
But I hope she can move beyond her small frame because she will be up against very, very tall Latinas. So I think kung kaya niyang mag-project talaga better than her national costume performance earlier.
True.
She wasn't
True.
as, but like, if she can move past that, then nanlala mo ng mic si Ati. So,
True.
Yeah, true.
Agree.
Actually, based on what I've observed so far, parang siya yung best communicator out of the
Yeah.
candidates. So far, I'm
Yep.
not sure dun sa iba.
I hope she makes it to the speaking portion so she can really showcase
Yeah.
what she
Totoo.
can.
yeah.
Siya yata yung
I know.
pinakamaliit, no? Tama ba? I'm not
Siya
so
ata
sure.
ang
She
pinakamaliit.
is.
Yeah. Siya ang pinakamaliit.
Yes. Wait, I thought she was Filipina kasi pangalan niya Maria. Half Indian
She's
pala siya.
Indian.
Half
Yeah.
Indian. So Rabia and Australia are both half Indian.
Ah, okay.
And then nagkita sila ni Miss India. So nagkaroon sila ng
Cute.
moment. Ang cute-cute nilang tatlo.
Yep. At dahil na-mention ni Thais, ang next, alam ko na talaga kasi yung sino nandun eh, okay? Ang next na pasok natin ay si India sa top 20 natin for BBS. What are your thoughts about, what's her name? Adeline? Is it
Adeline.
Adeline, yeah.
I really love her during the up-close interview.
Yeah.
She's very well spoken to, as well as paano ba? Ang ganda-ganda niyang as a, like yung how she carries herself, very confident, and I think she can place higher than marami kasing naging Miss India na pumapasok sa sa quarterfinals, pero alam mo yun, wala namang impact. But she is really like, she can really make this something na parang better for India this year. I think, and if she can make it to the end, baka kaya pa niya na manalo.
Yep. How about you guys? Any thoughts?
If the category is just face, siya yung best for me. Along with Philippines and South Africa.
Interesting. Although ako hindi ko siya nasama, hindi ko yata sinama siya sa picks ko sa Asia eh. Pero surprisingly sa atin lahat, napasok talaga siya sa top 20 natin for Asia. Alright,
Bakit hindi mo siya sinama, Nico? Kasi I think pareho tayo ata hindi sinama siya eh. Kasi you had stronger contenders.
Meron kasi akong pinili na iba over her eh.
Sa akin kasi she feels really chill. She's really pleasant. Pero she needs to stand out more, I think.
Yun nga
She needs to put herself out there pa.
Right. Konting dating pa, no? Yeah.
Konting push pa. Kasi ang lakas ng Asia Pac eh. If we're gonna base it in the old category. And if we're gonna use it as a whole, then she needs to put out something pa in order to pull in the audience more.
Yeah. Ako medyo nakulangan lang ako talaga. Parang, I don't know, ang strong niya kasi nung Miss India nila na competition. And then after, di ba nagka-COVID siya? She was positive and then she got quarantined and then okay, naging negative na. Parang nawala yung loss niya, energy niya. I don't know, hindi ko alam eh. Parang hindi ko na nakita. Magaling siya magsalita pero parang nawala na siya ng energy or gana masyado dun sa close-up interview. I felt na parang it could be like somebody else from Asia. At dahil dyan, ipapasok talaga natin ang next na sa Asia and Africa. Indonesia, pasok sa ating top 20. Yes. Alright. Tuloy-tuloy ko ng next na mga candidates ha. And then next will be, of course, Philippines. Kasama yan. Love our own. Singapore, I was surprised though. Marami pa ng lugar.
Bernadette Ong was born and raised in the Philippines.
Before
she moved back to Singapore. But she learned how to speak Tagalog when she was here.
Pero Filipina siya, Thais, no? Tama ba?
No. She's a Singaporean but born and lived here for a long time.
I see. Mukha siyang Pilipina kasi na, alam mo
yun. Mukha na talaga siyang Pilipina, I swear. Everything. Actually, she considers herself like Filipina na rin. Kasi sobrang tagal niya talaga dito tumira. And then lumipat na lang siya nang she was an adult sa Singapore. So, yun. I hope she wins. She has tama si ano kanina Ange, na she has a confidence na stand out. Pa X Factor level si ate.
Yeah, exactly.
Nung national costume competition.
Yep.
Yeah. And I like that she stood for multicultural facets of her, diba? She was Chinese, she's
True.
Filipino,
Yeah,
she's
Chinese.
Singaporean.
Yeah.
So
True.
I love that it also emanated in the video. Tsaka she's also a good communicator, by the way. Ang galing niya.
Yes.
Yes, magaling naman
Very
siya.
much.
In fairness.
Very much. Yep.
See, Indonesia, I also really love, especially visually. I love how she looks like. She's super sweet and at the same time, iba yung beauty niya. But I didn't put her in my top 5 only because in the interview as well, parang I was lacking an advocacy or even something that she stood for
Correct.
during the interview. Yun lang. But overall, aside from that, she looks really pretty.
Yep. Okay.
Philippines for sure pasok na sa voting.
Apparently. I-reveal ko na yung iba and then we can give insights. Next would be South Africa, pasok pa rin. We have Thailand and Vietnam. Sabi nga ni Lance, parang powerhouse talaga yung Asia and Africa natin, no? So what do you think? Do you think pasok tong mga to sa Miss Universe sa Monday?
Yes.
Yes.
A huge chunk of these women will be part of it. I'm just going to add Nepal, I guess.
Nepal.
Yes.
Nepal is also
Me too.
super smart. And she has like those kinds of like once in a lifetime kind of beauty ng isang Nepalese woman. Like
That's
a
right.
lot of the Nepalese that they've sent are not really representative of like Nepal, but talagang medyo ngayon talaga parang siya Miriam Kiambao level na parang
Yeah.
attractive lang talaga dahil sa kung pa way siya gumalaw and conduct herself. She can absolutely nail it. Kung tuloy-tuloy yung ganong klase yung confidence, pwede siyang magdire-diretso sa top 5. Yun, siya sa ano. Did you know that Nepal is actually one of the this year had transgender candidates in their national competition.
Really?
So, yeah, so and naging judge si Gina Rosero sa national sa Miss Universe
Oh.
Oh
Nepal
my
na
God.
competition for this year. So
Gina
but
Rosero.
they didn't win. But it's such a step for the right direction
Yep.
na
Yep.
at
Yes,
least this country is choosing na. So the next challenge is yun nga, bakit hindi Pilipinas? Diba? Tingnan natin kung maano si Shamsi na at hindi magsalita si Miriam Gamba. Tara!
Gusto ko yan. Alright. Ayan, so ito yung pasok sa Asia natin. What we did was from the votes, parang in alphabetical na lang natin yung pag-mix up. Pero ito, we're just showing up yung per region or continent. Yan. Alright, so...
Pero ang hirap pumili dyan, Nico, ha? Kasi all of these women are really strong. Kaya ako nahirapan. I could pick any of them.
Yep.
Especially what they stand for. I wish lang yung kay Japan, I wish they could train her more, groom her more, para maganda yung laban niya sana.
Right.
Feel ko they remove the per continent because of Africa and Asia.
Yeah.
Oo, no,
Sayang.
pwede.
Sayang yung slot kasi sa ibang region napupunta sa
True.
Sasayangan talaga ako napupunta sa top 20 yung feeling ko may other women na mas
Deserve yung mga
other
yes,
regions.
sure. Tignan natin yung ibang regions. Tignan natin kung pasok tong mga to sa panlasa natin, di ba? So this is from the Americas naman. Okay, the first got into our top 20 picks. Brazil. Ayan. Sige, muna, i-reveal ko muna lahat and then we can comment right after. Next would be Canada. Next is Jamaica. Surprisingly, Jamaica. Sabi ko, wow, talaga, BBS. Jamaica, alright. And then, sino to hindi ko makita sa baba? Peru.
Peru, yes.
Peru is also there. And Puerto Rico is also there. And USA. And that's it. Yun na yung pasok sa Americas. What do you think?
Puerto Rico. Peru is my Latin America winner.
Oh,
Yeah, me
She's
too.
my choice
Me too.
okay.
to
Okay.
win. She's really smart.
Yeah.
And her body is to die for, a classic Latina body. But you know who can also really win?
Yeah.
Venezuela. She's such a
Mm,
Yeah.
sleeper. I love it. Like, Venezuela's not making any waves, super like looking news right now.
okay.
But
Okay.
with every outing ito ni Miss Venezuela this year, she's
Mhm.
so like, she makes me like amazed every single time. She speaks fantastic English, so she can express herself very well.
Nice.
And
Hmm.
like, basta, watch out for her. But Peru is
Yep.
my number one pick.
Right, right, right. Uy, by the way, ito palang basis pala natin nito. Ito yung sa close-up interviews kasi. So, syempre, iba na yung environment dun eh. And then, if they're in the
Oo.
competition and in the preliminaries, it will really change. So, ito parang,
Yeah.
probably this will really change. Ako nga, I voted for Nepal, pero surprisingly, hindi pasok sa BBS. Well, based kasi dun sa up close interviews. But it will really change, definitely. And just like what I said, baka si Venezuela will really stand out. Hindi natin alam eh, pag sa preliminaries
Yeah.
bukas. Diyos ko ah. No,
Yes, just
eh.
make or breaking mo tomorrow. So let's see.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about you guys? Ange, Maya, Maki.
Well, ako for Canada, I mean, I voted for Canada for not only for very obvious reasons na she's smart and she presents herself really really well. Pero what made me love her more is how she stood up. Kasi it's somehow it's a decision point to stand up against bashing and to stand up against
Yep.
Yes.
to stand up against oppression in the middle of a competition. Kasi parang although that's what we admire and that's how I think Miss Universe naman ultimately would want their ultimate the winner would be na parang can stand up for herself. Pero na I think kasi parang we're in the middle of a conversation right now na um from my personal opinion, not all of these women, or not all of these the cultures and the countries that these women represent, are in that same conversation as of the moment. So parang for Canada to speak up in the middle of a competition, it speaks volumes of how she can
Yeah.
be a potential winner. Na parang she's not afraid of the backlash she's not afraid of engaging into more conversation. Kasi
True, true.
when you respond and somehow retaliate to against the bashing, no, parang it will the conversation will continue. I mean, no matter how positive or negative it is, it will continue. So parang expect at least that more people will support you and more people will ultimately still bash you, diba?
Yep, yep,
So
yep.
for her to speak up and stand up for herself ultimately. So she really has the highest potential, I think, for these set of women to
Yeah.
be in the top 20.
I couldn't agree more. Ako naman, and see, and sorry ha, I'll take this is really, really personally. I like the advocacy of USA, pero ma'am,
Yeah. Same.
Trump supporter kasi siya, ma'am.
Oh
Sana
my god.
Oh.
sabi ko, oh my God, I don't know. So medyo, well, I voted for her based on the close-up interview anyway. Pero personally, parang, no.
No. Trump supporter, no, never. Ekis na yan. I
I'm
stand by
so
that.
sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you expect to support and empower women when you support someone who has always objectified women? Ano ba? Hello.
Galit ko si Mikey.
Okay.
Oo,
Okay,
Mikey.
bye. Wala akong bag.
Yan. Maya, Ange, what do you think? Sino yung parang nakikita nyo? Do you agree? Or meron pa ba kayo nakitang isang candidate dito na pwede sanang ipasok? Lance even. Yeah.
For me, three of my picks
Go.
went in. Pero siguro yung favorite ko sa kanila si Peru.
Pero,
I really love how she communicated during the up-close interview. She looks really sweet. Tapos, ano pa siya, multimedia artist pa siya, which I also related to. I don't know, relate ako sa kanya. She's
Same,
Yeah.
same.
And then she was so
Very,
enigmatic in the interview with the pink
Yup.
background. Ang cute niya talaga as in.
so, yes!
Yes, I think to add lang to that, I think I fell for Belize naman kasi I liked her story. Na
Yes.
she was a tomboy. Kasi she wanted
Okay.
to change the dynamics na you don't have to be girly to join Miss
Right.
Universe. And you can be a sporty, athletic woman, kumbaga, and join. She had a backstory pa. She had a really deep
She was
backstory. Na she
bullied,
was
right?
abused. She was abused. Not
Abused.
bullied, abused. Talaga. So, and she fought back. And it was really testament to her story.
Yeah, I think I also like, to be honest talaga, hindi ko napanood lahat ng up close and personal, but a lot of the bees I actually like Barbados, Bahamas, British
Yeah,
Virgin Islands.
Barbados. I also voted for Barbados. Yeah.
Yung mga ano nila yung mga advocacies nila, I think, yeah, it was because of that. Yun, a lot of the bees I would have chosen.
because you're from because you're from BBS.
And I'm from Bicol.
Yes, Bicolano kasi. All right. Okay. Anything else before we move to the last continent?
Let's
All
go.
right. Ako no, last ko na to. Si Curacao sana, gusto kong mapasok to. As in, I super like her story. I mean, nako. But we'll never know. I mean, di ba, baka bukas mag-stand out talaga to si ate girl.
Yeah.
Ito yung may dyslexia or Asperger, I guess. Tama ba ako, Lance? Ikaw nagsabi sa akin. Siya yung may ganong story na she has
Yeah, one of them
dyslexia.
has
Oo.
dyslexia.
I think it's Curacao.
She was Curacao, di ba? Curacao, yeah. Okay, and last, ito na yung Maki, ito na yung parang sabi mo hindi deserve, Char.
Hindi ko, wala ko sinabi.
Ay, wala.
ko sinabi sa
Joke
live.
lang talaga. O, tignan natin yung sa Europa, sinong pasok dito. We have Finland, France, Great Britain.
I
we
like
have,
Great Britain.
di ba, no? And then we have
And Ireland. I like Ireland.
Yes. And, wait lang.
Bakit apat lang sila?
And then Romania. That's it. Yun lang yung pasok sa Europa. For us as atin. Based on the close-ups, yes. What do you think?
Well, Great Britain for not stating the obvious, but she presents herself well naman. Yun sa okay. Ayoko na mag-comment kasi baka magdagdag si Nico sa mga opinion ko sa likod nitong live na to. Pero
Romania has
Balik na lang tayo sa Asia Pacific show.
nakakasya si Romania ng what do you call this? Pre-pageant hype. So, she's really like, sa mga European, si Romania at si Iceland. Ang pinaka, But Iceland's not a choice here.
Iceland was mine. Hindi
But
nakapasok.
France and Finland also had very good responses. Ukraine also. Kasi sa Ukraine, ang strategy naman yung dumikit kay Rabia.
Para magbukang matangkad.
No, I swear.
No,
Like, lahat ng pictures, punta kayo sa Instagram ng Miss Ukraine, nandun si Rabia, guys. But yeah, she's great. But Europe is not so much of a powerhouse right now.
Yeah.
Hindi masyado. So, yeah, people are looking at Asia heavily. Yeah.
They're at the end of your rope.
Sige, ipasok natin yan.
Good night, everyone. Thank you. I'm also at the end of my rope.
Diyos ko po. Diyos ko.
Okay, next.
But these are actually interesting picks for BBS. So, pasok ko pala si Russia. I'm sorry. Ayan, si Russia pasok din sa top 20. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. No? But again, this is based on the close-up interviews din. So, hindi pa natin nakita yung national costume na to, di ba, nung naglalagay-lagay natin ng mga votes natin. So, it will really affect. But looking at it,
hindi ko magbabago yan.
Magbabago to.
Yes,
Definitely.
absolutely.
So, ayan, ito yung total, ito yung top 20 talaga natin. So, Australia, Brazil, Canada, Finland, France, Great Britain, India, Indonesia, Ireland, Jamaica, Peru, Philippines, Puerto Rico, Romania, Russia, Singapore, South Africa, Thailand, USA, and Vietnam. Yun yung top 20 natin. Ang feels ko dito, I think majority of these countries pasok sa top 20 ng Miss Universe. That's my guess. Kayo ba?
Same.
Yes.
Same.
Looks good.
The thing is, it's hard. It's a hard edition. Wala pa
Yep.
they only had 2 weeks of pageant preps, pre-pageant event.
True.
Usually have a month and a half, sometimes 2 months pa nga. But yeah, kawawa to mga girls na to. They could, sayang yung could have a lot more time to express and show what they are. Pero hindi nila magagawa. But yun, I think edge siya ng mga girls na came into the competition, may ingay na.
Yeah.
And they just really can't, have parang mag-low steam. Talagang taas lagi. Talagang push. And like ganyan mag-strategize dapat ng, like imagine 2 weeks lang. So kailangan pok-pok ka, walang dapat pagbaba ng energy dyan. Like talagang diretso dapat yung ano mo. And Rabia, I think, is speaking at the right time.
She is.
She is, no? She just needs to lay off social media, I guess.
Yes.
She's very emotional sa kanyang IG live kanina. Catriona, during her pre-pageant preps, rarely had access to her phone. Her team was the one posting it for her. But she doesn't see anything. Kasi nga, a pageant is a mental game the same way as it's a physical game.
Yeah.
So, really, it's parang kung i-expose mo yung sarili mo masyado sa ganon, like, you'd be waylaid na nag-iisip ka na lang ng, what will people think, etc., etc. Just do your thing, girl. People will always comment and, kung constructive man yan or bashing, it will always happen. So, just do your best. Like, ako, yun yung message ko kay Rabia. Don't think about all of these external things. You're there, have fun. But most of all, alam mo naman kung bakit ka nandyan eh. You have a goal, you just focus on doing it well. So, wag mo lang isipin tong, kahit kami, I only have the best intentions for Rabia, and but even us na super support sa kanya, wag mo na rin kaming intindihin.
Actually,
don't look at the internet at all. Go. Please. I mean, whoever's teaching you, Jonas or Shamsi, go listen to that. Stick to your strategy. You already have it. You're so close to the very end.
Yes.
It could mean the crown if you do it well. And we've done this for many years na, and have sent people to the finals many times. So you can do it again. Pero malaki kasi expectations sa kanila since if they're a new national organization.
That's right.
So the results of this pageant would mean so much for a baby national organization like the MUP. So I really, really wish them the best. All they need is our support lang naman talaga.
Yeah. Stronger. Yun nga, tama si Thais eh. Peaking talaga siya eh. Peak at the right time eh, pag mga beauty pageants or sa Miss Universe eh. We'd like to flash some of the comments also for in the chat, no?
So kung peaking siya, peaking dapat.
So, hindi siya sa Philippines, sa China dapat siya.
Xavier says, yung top 10 niya, PH, Peru, South Africa, Mexico, Puerto Rico, India, Romania, Thailand, Canada, and Nepal. I actually counted earlier, and 8 on his list are in our top 20 kanina.
Right.
Yung hindi lang ata kasama is Nepal.
And Mexico.
And Mexico.
Surprisingly Mexico, no? Diba? Parang we'll never know. Baka bukas na lo. Yun nga, nagtatanong nga si Jakey bakit daw hindi pa pasok si Powerhouse Colombia and
Venezuela and Colombia.
Yeah, but
siguro
again,
biases na rin.
Yeah, but we'll never know. I mean, based lang naman to sa up-close interviews eh. So, a lot of factors, but tomorrow will really change. Ako nga, nagbabago na yung isip ko ngayon, parang wait lang, parang I'm seeing Nepal now. Parang as I
Diba?
thought he was, di ba? Parang
Yeah.
what?
Surprising that Venezuela and Colombia are not included powerhouses. It's what they call the sash factor.
Ah,
But once you see their countries on the sash and like you say na parang, okay, sure na pasok yan. Only because you know that these countries have a robust training program for their queens. And compared to some other like national organization, they would have benefited from like fantastic training. But marami na kasi gumagawa na like they go to the Philippines to train. Like Singapore is
Yeah.
Philippines trained. Cameroon is Philippines trained. Who else?
And costume.
Nag-hire ng
si Malta.
Malta is
God,
also
diba?
trained by the Philippines or like may mga Filipinos. So marami yung ganon. So like hindi na siya. We used to go to Venezuela to get trained. Miriam Kembao for only a month because she was a replacement candidate. And she went to Venezuela to train for a month. And then she was first runner-up. So imagine they developed that walk for Miriam for a month lang. That's
Grabe,
crazy.
no?
That's really crazy. Catriona it took half a year for her to really, really perfect her walk. So I don't know. These people, yung tinatawag na sash factor, they're there because they've benefited a lot from training na may pera talaga, no, at effort. They could still win. Venezuela could still place. Colombia could still place. But there have been years na talagang wala tong mga to.
So,
recent years, no? So Venezuela medyo tahimik, no?
Walang pera
talaga.
magulo sila eh. Kaya.
Magulo na yung country.
Oh my gosh.
Nasa kalsada yung pera nila, walang value.
But you know who's funding the pageants kasi sobrang taas pa rin ng pride. Para Pilipinas lang din yung mga yan eh. But they're countries super duper poor. But most of these queens, when they get, when they compete, wealthy Venezuelans who live in the States are the ones who
grabe.
So not the Venezuelans. Those who have escaped Venezuela right now. Ang dami, guys. I hope it's not the future of our country, but
I hope so.
What happened in Venezuela right now, since sobrang sama talaga ng situation doon, like people don't have food to eat. They leave for the States for mga kababayan na nandun, and then they live there. And like, most of Venezuela's like professors, yung mga creative industry people nila, yung hindi connected sa government, nasa States na. So, parang ang daming nag-exile na mga Venezuelans to the United States. And surprise, they all live in Miami, in Florida. As in, like, ang dami Venezuelans. Oo. So,
kaya laging may contingent.
Oo. So, laging, pabor sa kanila na yan nandun yung mga at least yung mga Latinas kasi Florida is such a hotbed for like Latin American immigration.
True.
Kung nasa California, Pinoy naman yung nandyan.
Marami.
Totoo. Kasi yun yung pinakamalapit when they fly to the city. LAX is on the east, di ba?
Totoo.
On the west coast.
Yeah.
West coast.
Saka historically, doon naman tayo nag-jump ship eh.
Totoo.
Very, very true.
Oh my God, exciting! Prelims.
Exciting!
Tomorrow morning.
I know, but again, we'd like to invite again everyone to Thais' space conversation tomorrow. Miss You Like Crazy hashtag shared spaces. Watch out for that. And we'd like to remind everyone, tomorrow morning, sabi ni Thais, matulog na tayo kasi maaga pa ang preliminaries at 7 a.m., 8 a.m. on YouTube. Yes, but hey, gigising talaga tayo dyan. Invested tayo eh. Char. Ako magigising talaga. Ako mag-alarm na ako.
Natanong mo, natulog ba ako?
Sabado bukas.
Tuloy-tuloy mo na. Tuloy-tuloy mo na, huwag ka na matulog. Ayan. And before we end our session for today, we would like to promote something. So, Maya, take it away.
Anshabahan mo ako. So tomorrow is also Shopee's payday sale. So every 15 is actually the payday sale, and as part of our family and friends, we're also giving we're also sharing this family and friends vouchers. You can get 15% off with a minimum spend of 500 pesos. Cap of discount is at 150 pesos. Valid only tomorrow during Shopee's payday sale. Just use Shopee Pay. This is valid on all Shopee Pay transactions. So you can get 15% off. Just use 515 SPP FAF 2021. So again, that's 515 SPP FAF 2021. Malapit na, so in just 40 minutes you'll be able to use this 15% off.
Yes! Yes, great. Thank you, Shopee. All right. I think that's where we end our conversation. Thais, thank you so much for a very fruitful and
you.
insightful conversation. Ang saya-saya pag Miss
Yes.
Universe talaga. Yay!
Thank you.
Hyped up tayo.
Thank you
Super,
so
super
much for
happy.
having me. It's
Thank
one of those
you.
things
Thank you.
I could talk a lot about confidently. Beyond like other stuff like advocacy or things, but
Yeah.
Miss Universe.
Yes. This will not be the last time. Meron pa tayong
Oh my God,
2021.
gumawa tayo ng something pa na like
Yes!
let's still talk about pageants and stuff.
Yes, perfect. But we will
Yeah.
join sa spaces mo tomorrow. We'll join you.
Yes. Tomorrow night, please join me. And don't hesitate to always invite me, Nico. Just tell me. If I'm free,
Yes.
I'm always happy to see my BBS family.
Thank you.
We're happy to have you. Thank you. All right. Mikey, take it away.
Well, actually, Maya wants to say something. He wants to tell folks about something. Go, Maya.
Oh, next week. So on our next BBS episode, please join us as we review A Tale of the Thousand Stars. So that's this Friday, right? So this Friday, May 21, same time, 9 p.m. So I hope you can be part, or BBS can be part of our usual Friday nights. And for the next Friday session, we'll talk about A Tale of Thousand Stars.
Yes.
Oh.
So again, guys, thank you very much for joining us tonight. We had a lot of fun. Thank you to Thais for accepting our invitation and sharing a lot of insights as well. So really appreciate, always. And for those of you who stayed with us and spent your Friday night with us, thank you so much. We would appreciate if you would like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that notification button, and go ahead and follow us on our socials. We are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. So it's Bruhaha B Squad or BB Squad. And you can also follow us on our personal social accounts. That's on the running board down at the bottom. So until next week, thank you very much. We'll see you again. Stay safe. And
Bye.
tell people that you love them.
Happy weekend.
Bye, everyone.
Happy weekend.
Happy weekend.
Happy Paint.